Hey guys, Demo here at Perfect Gaming Guides, back with another 100% completion guide. This one is for Return to Grace, which is currently available on Xbox Game Pass, guys. There are 35 achievements up for grabs here for a full 1000 Gamerscore, and this guide will walk you through getting the full 100% in around 2 hours 50 minutes, guys. Normally you would need to do 3 full playthroughs to get 100% in this game, as there are 2 different endings and some achievements need you to take specific routes, but this guide will show you how to do this without even needing to do 2 full playthroughs by using a couple of manual save points at the correct time. Okay guys, let's get into it.
Hold on.
Impact in 10, 9, oh there it is. Adie?
So once we finally come round from being
Adie,
knocked
please
out
respond.
due to our ship crash landing, guys,
You've been out for nearly an hour.
we start interacting with Alan, who is our
We've crashed.
basically our
Yeah,
kind of
I got
onboard
that.
computer.
My hull is intact. Thrusters 2 and 4 are damaged and will require realignment.
So will my back. Can you let me out?
Not before we talk about your suit.
Okay, talk.
I'm reading green on seals, green on batteries. Thermals are, well, not green, but fine, and you have 5.35 hours of oxygen, maybe 6 if we run the scrubbers hot. But Adie, we've had this discussion before. You won't have enough
Alan,
to...
it's fine. I have a plan.
I'm concerned that...
I have a plan.
Understood.
Now, open the hatch.
The canopy hydraulics are not responding. You'll have to pull the manual release.
So we're going to pull this lever over on the right hand side, guys.
Seriously. This stupid piece of junk.
I'm right here.
Ugh.
And as soon as we land on the ground, not all those who wander are lost achievement pops for us,
Visibility's
guys.
terrible.
We just head straight on into the
Satisfied?
mist, and it is quite
I'm not
difficult to
picking up
see here, but if you just kind of head
Just the
straight
original
ahead,
beacon signal.
and
You'll need to
eventually
use your
our little
wayfinder
wrist
to locate an
compass
entry point.
pops up, and we want that little glowing dot at the
Alright.
top of it to be
Let's
at
figure out where you're
the
at,
top,
Grace.
and that's us heading in the right direction,
You know
basically.
the beacon could be anything. A lost colony.
You want to
a
head
police
over
station.
towards this little
200
station
distinct
here,
history
guys,
can't
and we
be
need to
wrong,
interact with it. There is actually an achievement
This is
for
here.
interacting with 2 of these.
I can't believe this
So
storm.
we need to make sure that we
Where would
actually
this have
examine
come
it, so we need to wait on the
There is
dialogue
record of ancient
ending
terraforming on other moons.
and press
I
A
think
to
it's safe to assume that
interact
Ganymede
with
is not
it.
an
We can then
exception.
move to the right of it, and if we
A
just
weather
head
station,
past it,
or maybe
you
a
see that there's a
seismic station?
sort
Looks
of
the
little
error of
gap
that
in the
relay
rocks
from
here.
Dawes
We're just
Sea
going to
Dam.
follow that
It's
and
at
then
least
cross this
700
little
years old,
bridge.
Alan. There's a little bridge here. There wouldn't be much sense of building this.
We
if
go
you
over
weren't
the
within walking
bridge and
distance
just
of the
follow
spire.
around to the right, and we
By
can
all
climb up
estimates,
this
the beacon is
sort of
within
rock face here.
400 meters.
This
At
looks
the top of
climbable.
the rock face there are 2 bridges. We want to take the one to the right, guys, as there's an achievement just off this path here. So make sure we take the one to the right.
Which way here?
And as we just go round the corner, we'll see there's a little rock formation up there. We want to interact with that for another achievement.
These must have been arranged here by someone. Waypoint for navigation?
So up pops, please send me a sign. Then we're going to cross over this bridge.
Oh no!
That drops us down into the little valley below, and we're just
There
going to
goes
follow the
back
path
again.
down to the left here.
What happened?
Fell into a stupid fissure. Looking for a new way to reach the spire. Or at least someplace where it will be easier to find my body.
So just following the path through, and then we need to press A to squeeze through this gap here, guys.
Looks a little tight.
As we get through, we're going to turn very slightly left and just go straight on again. There's another of
It's
the
opened up
little
again.
stations there, so we need to interact with that. And as long as we've interacted with the first one,
Another
our
station.
achievement will
Too close
pop up.
together to be weather stations.
Then we're just going to follow on
So
through the
seismic
only path that
Icequakes
there is to
would be
take,
the risk
really.
of building here. So it makes sense they would track activity. The surface temperature is dropping.
Elementary,
Can't
my
maintain
dear
your thermals
Watson, that
much longer.
pops up for us. We're just going to
Close.
follow the
I
path
can feel
round,
it.
guys,
I wish I shared your optimism.
and you'll hear the beeping and the light flashing for our little compass. Head towards this ladder,
Oh my god. This has to
and
be it.
up pops our other achievement. Hello there, for finding
seeing,
the
Adie?
Grey Spire.
I'm looking at what must be the spire superstructure.
Follow round to the
There's
right
a
here,
destroyed surface ladder. I'll need to
and we're
find
going to
another
head
way
up
in.
that sort of slope.
Can't imagine how
If
something
you're finding the
this big has
guide
gone
useful so
undetected
far,
for this long.
guys, please
A
consider
500-year-old
subscribing to the
storm?
channel and hitting the
I
like
don't
button.
know.
I would really appreciate that.
Doesn't seem possible.
So we're going to jump
See an
into the exhaust
that might
port
be low
here,
enough to jump to.
and you can't really fall or anything here, guys.
Did you make it, Adie?
I'll let you know in 1 sec.
So this part here is quite dark, so it can be
I'm
quite
in.
difficult to see sometimes. So we're going to the end of this
Alright,
and
Grace.
turning right.
Let's find out what you've been up to for the past 900
Then
years.
at the end of the tunnel here, we're going to turn left and go through this little gap here. So just press A to duck under. And our helmet has a light on it, guys, that we can turn on pressing the Y button.
Hope my light still works.
There's, looking just ahead of us, there's a little tunnel that we
You
can
should
slide
see
into.
this spooky tunnel I'm in, Alan.
And why would I want that?
Come on, you're not excited?
You crash-landed me in a frozen hellscape and left me for salvage.
10 years of research, not to mention 6 months of spaceflight, are about to pay off.
But at what cost?
Don't ruin this for me.
Once we drop down there, we're going to turn to the right. And then
Looks
we're
like a
going to
bit of a
take a
labyrinth.
left.
But I'm still picking up the signal ahead.
And you can still hear me?
Loud and clear,
Then
buddy.
we're going to take a right. Then we are going to take the
Structure looks to be in
second
decent
left.
condition.
Another good sign.
And then we're going to head to the
Everything
right.
about this place looks 30th century to me.
And then
It's
on
the
our
right
left hand
era, the
side,
right size.
there is
Don't
this
say
little
it, Adie.
gap again
Had
that
our
we can
hopes
duck
dashed
under.
before.
Follow round to the right here and squeeze through this little gap. Then we are going to turn to the right, heading straight on, and we're going to take the second left turning, and there should be a broken fan ahead of us there, and there it is. So we interact with that
This
and we
one's
can
broken.
now climb through the
I think I can
gap.
crawl through.
Once we're through the fan, we can just head straight on, guys,
Jeez.
and there's a
That's gotta
large
be
drop.
over 15 meters.
Alan starts trying
And
to
if
tell us
gravity
about
is one
the risk
sixth of that
involved,
on
but we
Math,
just
math,
decide to jump
math.
anyway.
It's probably fine.
I could calculate outcome probabilities based on previous drop.
When we land,
patterns
we
if
just go
you've
straight
already
ahead, and
jumped,
again,
haven't you?
there's a little space that we can crawl down the
I hope
chute
this
here.
is the right way. Oh boy, this is slick.
Adie?
Oh no.
Once we recover from the big drop there, guys, we just go straight ahead
Whoa.
towards
Are you
the
hurt,
sort of
Adie?
green
I'm
console in
working
front
on
of
it.
us there.
The structure is enormous. This has to be the Grey Spire, Alan.
And there it is.
Just head round the right
Perfect
side
setup
of
for
it and
disappointment.
interact with the panel there,
I found the beacon.
and up pops.
The
This
transmitter is on
means
some
something
sort of console.
achievement, guys.
It must be part of a control network for the megastructure.
You think we can make a connection here?
Theoretically, if you run a scan, I can attempt to connect. The interface language is quite old and sophisticated, but we should be able to calibrate your computer to interact. You can use your gyroscope to sync with the terminal. I have the first calibration position.
So if we just listen to
The
instructions
meter
from
will
Alan there, he's
indicate
just
when
telling
we're
us
close.
basically we need to light up all the lights in the left hand side by moving our wrist to
First
the
position is
correct
locked.
position,
Second calibration position is up.
and if we do that 3 times,
That's 2.
that is going
and
to
here's
allow
the
us
final
to
position.
essentially connect into the computer system.
That's it. We're in. Accessing the network now. Oh.
Shit. Alan, you there? Alan?
Hello?
Ha!
A visitor. Let's have a look.
Where's Alan? Who is this?
Who is this? Who are you? Entering a home without knowing its host.
Are you... Grace?
Good question. I'm not entirely Grace. I'm running on just a small part of her logic processing.
So
Grace
this
is
is
still here.
one of the
And what
AIs
brings you
that we
here?
interact with
My name is
and sort of
Adie
helps
Ito.
guide us
I'm an
throughout the
explorer.
game now,
I
guys.
must
This one
apologize,
is
Adamari.
the
You would
logic
appear I
AI.
have lost much of my capacity. I cannot see very far beyond the room we are in.
I've lost connection with my ship's AI.
You won't need Alan here. I can show you around.
Will you be able to let me out of this room?
Of course. But until we are able
So we want to
restore
stand by
power
this
to the
panel
station,
here on the
I
floor,
will
guys.
require your assistance.
And it is just
There
directly
should be a manual
behind
winch
the
set in the
exit
floor at
of
the foot of one of
the
the
control
sliding
panel that we were
doors.
standing in a second ago.
This must be it.
So
Working
we
the
lift
winch
that
will
up
open
and
the
then we're
door.
just going to crank the handle on it.
Do you know where Grace has been all this time?
Grace went somewhere?
She's been gone for hundreds of years.
I am running on a very old server. My memories predate the completion of the Grace Spire.
Grace ushered in humanity's golden age. Peace across the system.
So we're nearing a point
booming
here, guys,
interplanetary
where
trade,
we make our
scientific
first
marvels,
manual save point.
colonies beyond the orbit of Neptune. And then she was gone, and it all fell apart.
I'm
Past
sorry,
this
I
point,
don't
the
remember.
decisions that you make
Well, you're a
start to
lot more than an
determine whether
archaeologist
you
usually
get the
gets.
control ending or the Grace ending, guys, so we don't want to have to redo what we've done so far.
The first step to
Top set
restoring
achievement
Grace
there.
is to bring
So
the Spire's
when we're
power
doing
station
the
back
following
online.
manual saves, I would
Let's do
recommend
it.
that you use the
I'll
same
light the
save
way.
slot numbers that I use, guys, because it will just make following the guide a bit easier. So we quit to the main menu to make a backup save and we press the X button to copy to slot 4. So press an X on slot 1 and we're going to move down to slot 4 to copy it there. And we're going to use that to do the second ending later on, guys, and it saves us about sort of 10-15 minutes to redo the second playthrough. So we'll just keep that one there and then we're going to go back and load slot 1 again. So turn around from the console and we're just heading back to that door we were at a second ago. And we're going to interact with the panel here.
What do I do here?
This is a security panel. I am decrypting the pattern now. Ah, yes. Simple enough. You'll need to light up 9 buttons.
So this
forming
one's just a
square at the center of the
3x3
panel.
square in the middle, guys,
Okay.
and switching off all the
9
other
buttons
ones
in the
outside
center.
of that.
That is what I said.
If you're not Grace, then what do I call you?
I don't believe there are any identification strings in my base logic that would suffice.
I'll call you Logic then. For now. Till we have a better idea of who you are. And, you can call me Adie.
So we just head
I
through
will
the door,
refer to
guys,
you
and there's
as
only really one
Adie,
path that we
then.
can take here.
Until we have a better idea of who you are.
So what exactly are you?
The station's emergency server had defaulted to Grace's original logic processing. That's me, as you've suggested.
Just head down
The
and
server
we're going
can
to
also
interact with
run a
this lift
program
here.
dedicated to the control of infrastructure, and a third system dedicated solely to empathizing with and understanding humans. When power is restored, Grace's primary servers should come online, and we will become some small part of Grace's consciousness.
This looks like metallic rock.
The power station is set into the Spire's foundation stone.
The foundation stone would have been an asteroid, right?
Most certainly. About 50 cubic kilometers, from what I can recall.
Amazing. Most accounts of Grace's origins talk about an asteroid being pulled from the heavens. Makes sense. There wouldn't be any construction resources on Ganymede.
So we'll
nothing
just
to
head
do with
over
construction.
to this large door here,
Can't imagine
guys.
the effort it would have taken to redirect an asteroid that big. We don't do anything like that today. Can you open this?
With some difficulty. I will need to direct power from logic to control processing, and I will not function at the same cognitive level until full power is restored.
What do you mean at the same
So
level?
at this point
Good
here,
luck, Adie.
Logic has enabled the control AI, guys, so it's going to start speaking to us here.
You still there?
Where would I have gone?
You sound a little different.
Just
We're getting the
stronger.
Grace ending here first, guys, so
The
we're
voice
going to
of
ignore
control
controls
resonates
instructions
through the very
and
walls
we're
of
going
the
to pick up some
structure.
additional
I
achievements
shall
here.
start
So
the
first of all, we're
turbine
going to head
after
over
you
to the
prime
left,
generators that
and
open
once the
spillway.
dialogue with control
And this turbine
finishes,
still
we're going
works?
to examine this
Worked
crane
before,
here.
and it will work again. You shall find the generators on the platform at the other side of the room.
So once we've examined that, we do a
What's the
180
crane
turn
for?
and we see
Go
these
to the
crates
3
sitting over
generators
behind us, and
overlooking
we're
the
going to
turbine.
examine one of those. And
You know
for
what's
doing
in
that,
these?
we're going to get an
Enough,
achievement that's going to
Adie.
pop up. Then we're just
You
going to
must
head
go to the
across this
generators.
bridge. Yep, that's the frankly my dear, I don't give a damn achievement. We're just going to head across the bridge, guys, and head over to these generators here.
So, why do you need me to start these?
And we
Tradition.
just need to
A
pull the handle down
time-honored
3 times
fail-safe
on
of
each of
including
them
human hands in
to
the
activate
operation of this
each
station.
generator.
So, do you share memories with the logic processor?
Indeed, we are all part of Grace. Aspects of her infinite power. Shadows of what was, and promises of what will be. I was the light that shone in the darkness. I was the hand that divided the firmament.
So
The
turn to the
turbine
left
has
and head back the
failed
way that
us.
we came,
That's not
guys.
good.
I must call upon you to cast out
Down the
wicked
stairs,
instrument.
and just on our
What?
right hand side there,
The
you can see that
broken
there's a little
turbine.
lift. So we're
You
going to
must
take
go
that
to it
down
now.
to that faulty
Alright.
generator. Or faulty turbine, sorry. As we get
Go
down,
down.
there are levers just on the opposite sides of
I'm
the
safe to be
turbine,
down
so
here,
we're just
right?
going to interact with
You
that,
shall
pull
not
it
be
back,
harmed. You must
to
uncouple the safety latches.
switch off the safety
Sounds
latches. So round the
It
other
is
side,
not.
and we're going to do the second one, do the same thing. Then just head back to that little lift
You
and
must
take
now
it back
go
up.
to the magnetic crane.
You're sure I'll be able to fix this?
If you trust in my word.
Then head up
Yes.
to the right here, up these little steps, and turn to the right over to the crane that we interacted with earlier on. And we're going to use the crane to lift the faulty turbine out, guys, and replace it with a spare one that's sitting just down to the left hand side. So
must
just
first
using the
cast
sticks,
out the
and then
old
you press
turbine.
A once you've hovered above it. You just use the light from it to help
Now
you guide it.
cast aside the wretched unit.
So move that one over to the left hand side and drop it into that slot. Then the one that's just above it, we're going to grab
Now you shall place the new turbine.
that. Again, pressing A once we're over the top of it, and then we're going to drop that into position.
Everett?
Hello?
Everett, is that you?
Grace?
Everett.
Behold my power.
What's happened?
I am reborn. Humanity will once
So
again
we've
flourish
jumped down from
in
the crane, and we're
brightness
going to
of
head
my
over
glory.
to the right
Isn't
and back
right.
up the steps
Our
that
processing
we,
has not combined.
the way that we
Grace
came in
has not been
initially, guys.
restored.
I think she was here for a
We're just
moment.
going to backtrack all the way back up the
Calling to
stairs
someone. Do you know who Everett is?
No. With
and
power
head back to the
restored,
lift.
My mind is clearer, sharper. But I could not tell you who Everett is.
You must leave this place at once. Return to your vessel and spread word of my return. From
So we can't
Sol's
interact
fiery
with
core to the
the
icy
lift
Kuiper
until all
expanse.
this dialogue finishes,
All
guys, but once it is finished, we
I've
can
hijacked
just
the volume control.
head back up
I
again.
don't feel like this is going to be a short commandment. We'll see how long before he notices.
It took me nearly a year to get here. I want to know if Grace can be brought back.
There is more complex to explore if you head back to the control room through which you entered. We should determine where in the megastructure my central processors are located. Perhaps along the way you may learn more about this Everett.
I forbid you to linger a moment longer.
And he's back.
Like a divine comet, dive from the outer reaches and spread light and understanding to the inner
Please.
worlds.
I'm not leaving.
Yet more insolence.
So, are there any accounts as to why Grace was shut down in the first place?
There's no electronic record at all. That would have been lost during the Great Dark Age.
Dark Age?
Much of humanity's record keeping would have been managed by Grace. So, when she went down 900 years ago, so did the ability to record what happened. The research that led me here was based on oral histories mostly, and some artifacts we uncovered on Earth and Mars. Relay devices that were once connected to Grace's network.
Then we share an interest in shedding light on this Dark Age.
So head out the lift and up the stairs again, guys, back to kind of where we started really.
From what I can tell, there is some sort of transit system on the other side of the control room.
And
which
we're
should
heading
lead
back
you
to the
other
control
parts of the
here,
spire.
the sort of green control centre there. We just need to head straight past that towards the door at the other side of it.
I will illuminate the door leading to this transit system.
So we're going to interact with this panel
Alas,
again
I'll require
here.
your nimble fingers again.
Alright, what's the pattern?
Another easy one. The
So
Phoenician letter
the pattern
Tau.
on this one,
We know
guys,
that.
is
I
a
don't know.
large X
Perhaps an
that
archaeologist.
basically goes from corner to
How
corner,
about the Greek letter Chi?
and any of the additional ones that are switched on that we don't need, we need to switch off, obviously.
Got it.
Once
This
we've done
is
that,
not the
door
way to your
opens and we
ship.
can just head along
Do
this
you believe
corridor.
Grace could have done something to cause humans to turn on her?
Like what?
Like becoming too overbearing?
Humans would have been given no reason to question my bearing.
It's one of my
As we get
theories,
through this sort of
yes.
foyer bit, we're going to head
This
up
must
the
be the main
steps,
entrance. I'm guessing the landing pad is on the other side of the big doors.
and
That's
straight
correct,
ahead of us
Adie.
there's these sort of
Though the
coloured
pad
doors.
appears
These
to
are
be buried
airlocks,
under
guys, so
pieces of
we're going to
ice.
get into the airlock,
Is this an airlock?
Yes.
interact with the
The
button
spire
once
beyond
the
this
dialogue
point is
finishes.
pressurized. I assume your suit has limited oxygen?
I have about 5 hours left.
That's quite a risk you're taking. Were you assuming station life support could be restored?
Well, can it?
I believe so. But for reasons I'll never understand, life support is controlled by empathy processing. I suppose they had to give it something to do. I will enable that programming.
So
now.
Logic is going to enable another AI here, guys. It's the
Hello,
empathy AI,
Hello.
so we can
So you're
interact
going
with
to
it
get
as well
oxygen
now.
going?
The process has already begun, my friend. No rush. If you let me accompany you along the path ahead, I can balance the environment to your life force as we walk.
Oh, here we go.
So in this
Wow.
area here, guys,
How are these
we
plants
need
still
to
intact?
interact with
They
all of
must
the
have
sort
been
of
subject
old
to a very
artifacts
sudden
that
drop
are in
in
here. So the
temperature
first
while
one
still
here is
alive.
this lantern
is this
here. So
place?
we're just going to wait until
Remaining
the
connected to
dialogue is
one's natural
finished
world is
until we can
important for a
interact with it.
person's well-being. A fitting starting point for those entering the structure, don't you think? Do you recognize any of the objects in this section of the garden? I'd love to know what you think of them. For the calibration process.
So interact with the
Is this a
lantern,
lantern?
and
An
empathy is
expression
going to
of
tell
our
us a little bit
certainty in
about
the
that.
flow of time.
Then we'll move over
How so?
and
A
we'll
craftsman
interact
spent
with the
months
anvil
carving this
there
remarkable
once
device
the
based
dialogue's
on
finished.
the absolute certainty that after day, night would follow.
Alright, I follow. Am I doing this right?
You are doing splendidly.
I'm sorry. This cannot possibly be necessary.
Temperature preferences can vary considerably between individuals. Careful calibration is essential.
How about above freezing and we proceed?
It's really up to Adie. If you don't wish to consider more objects, I can set the temperature within a survivable range, and you can move on to the flower bed.
So
next to the
interact with it
stairs.
now that the dialogue's finished.
I have no idea what this is. A weapon or tool of some kind?
It's a device for working metal. Why do you suppose it's in this garden, Adie?
It could be a symbol of hard work.
So
An
we'll move
industrious
over and we're going to
future.
head towards this
Or
pot
a
thing
laborious
here.
past, perhaps.
What's the point of this, Adie?
I'm an explorer. I'm here to
And now
learn.
we're going to examine that one.
This must be Terra Classical, or made in the style.
The ancient Greeks boarded their ships and set out to explore the world, to discover its gods and conquer its monsters. You are an explorer, Adie. But are you here to meet a god or to slay some beast, I wonder?
Then we'll interact
You're not a
with
planner,
the
are
statue once
I've
the
been told
dialogue's
that.
finished there as well.
This statue could be outer colonial. It's simple, but It's quite beautiful, I guess.
And why would its beauty matter?
People like pretty things.
A human truth spanning thousands of years.
And finally, over at the
What
left
would you
there,
say
there's
these
like a
objects have in
large
common?
stone carving
They're artifacts
thing.
from long before the building of the station.
The things we leave behind say something about us, don't they?
What a society leaves behind is all we have in understanding how they lived.
But we're interested in what you were willing to leave behind in order to come here.
Haven't left a whole lot, to be honest.
I believe that's all I will need to set the perfect temperature.
So
Finally,
up pops,
You can move
I'm
on
curious
to
what
Pacific
makes you so
revival.
curious achievement,
Kind of an
guys.
archway, maybe.
So we turn
It's a
around
pretty
and we're
piece
going to
to
head
show
over
all this
towards
way.
these yellow
So it must be
flowers.
important.
And
Even though
we're
it's no
asked to
longer
pick
holding up a roof.
a
its
flower here, so you
purpose
can
has
basically
changed.
pick any. It
That's
doesn't
gonna
really
happen
matter
with
which
people, too.
what option you
Do
pick
see
here.
them, Adie? Life
I
in
just picked the
perfect
yellow one
stillness.
as that was closest.
The flowers defying the hoarfrost, as you have defied the emptiness of space to arrive here.
I guess.
Which one are you?
Pardon me?
Which one of these blooms best embodies your spirit?
seriously,
It's important I know these things in the balancing of illuminatory ergonomics.
fancy words do not make this any less idiotic.
Go ahead, Adie. There
How
are
about
no...
this one?
A solid choice.
So once we've picked the flower,
Walked
guys,
an
we
unsteady
can turn
path to
around
get
and we
here,
just
and
head
I
up
think
into
you've
this
come in
pergola
search
here.
of comfort, perhaps. Or you wish to become part of something bigger than yourself. I'm making the lighting adjustments now. Ah, perfect timing. The room is fully compressed and we can go about setting oxygen levels.
Call me old-fashioned, but how about the traditional 21%?
Go ahead and seat yourself at the center of the pergola.
So we'll move into the centre here.
Very
And we're
good.
going to sit down.
Now, when you're ready, you can remove your helmet.
My helmet?
Of course. You can't sample the air I've prepared with it on.
And you're sure it's safe?
Your well-being is the most important.
So this part
thing,
here, there's
Adie.
an achievement, guys,
Certain
and
it
we
is
need to
safe.
hold our breath. So
Okay.
we simply just need to press and hold the A button and do
Now I
not
want
let
you to
go of
take
the
a
A
deep
button
breath.
until the achievement pops up. So press and hold A,
A nice, deep
and
breath.
empathy is
Hold
going to
it
tell us
there.
to let go. We just
3,
don't let go, we just keep
2,
going.
1, and release. You can let go, Adie. Anytime.
The human record for holding one's breath is 24 minutes and 37 seconds. I've started a pretend timer. I'm not sure who you're trying to impress here.
Well, some people just can't resist a challenge. Not bad. That was about a minute and a half. Beautiful.
And up pops our achievement.
And when
Hold your
you're
breath,
ready,
make a
another
wish.
Deep breath in. Deep as you can, Adie. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Very good, Adie. Feel all that built-up stress from your long journey here release into the ether.
Oh, please.
Shut out any negative energy and take in another life-nurturing breath. Fill those marvelous lungs. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Wonderful.
Even the station has a limited supply of oxygen.
Next, I want you to really open your body by reaching up toward the sky. feel, Adie?
Kinda nice?
And we're almost done the calibration. For our last exercise, I will ask you to stand up.
Okay.
Now, once you're centered, you can hold your hands in a relaxed position in front of you. Now transfer your weight onto one foot. I want you to hold that for 10 seconds.
Okay.
What could this possibly have to do with oxygen levels?
It's about balancing.
Literal balancing? Unbelievable.
So we're just using a stick here, guys,
Almost
to
there.
try and balance. There's a few points in the game where we actually do need to balance like this,
2,
when crossing beams and
and that's 10
that
seconds.
kind of thing. So this is a
Excellent,
little
Adie.
practice for
You've
that.
done great work here today. I've made note of these settings for the other parts of the station.
So once we're done there, we can
So we
turn
can move to the
around
transit system now?
and
The
head
door
up
out
the
is
steps,
just up the stairs,
just
past
beside
the
the
flowers.
flowers there, and take a right, and there's another airlock just ahead of us. So we'll just head over to that button. If you haven't done so already, guys, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel, as it's really hard for small channels like mine to get noticed by the
I'll do
YouTube
my best to
algorithm.
get the oxygen
So please
mixture
help out
just
the
right.
channel, guys, by hitting that like
Just let me know
and
if
subscribe
anything is not
buttons.
quite working for you.
You don't suspect Grace was shut down in a human conflict?
Maybe. Or you were abandoned over time.
Abandoned?
So once in this
Walked
area,
away from a
guys,
lot of
we're
great
going to
things.
head up these little steps here and round to the left.
Very cool.
These tracks move transport pods to other levels of this complex.
And there's
Let's see
a
if we can get
control
this thing
panel
working.
in here that we
You wouldn't
need
build
to
a
do
system
some
like
work
this if we
on,
didn't need
guys.
to
So we're
move a
just
lot of
heading
people,
round, and there's a control
which
panel here on
bodes
our
well
right
for
hand side
finding
here.
something cool at the other end.
So
This must
once
be
the
the transit
dial's finished,
control
we're going
room.
to
Looks like
interact
people
with
work here.
that.
No power?
There is no current running to this console.
Then we're just going to let the
Control will be
dialogue run
required to
through,
reroute power.
and
And
eventually
you
we're going to
defied
interact
my
with this
wishes
panel
to
here
tell
at
the
the
solar
end
system
of the
of my
dialogue.
return.
I'm just looking for answers, boss.
I am the only answer.
Control? Fine. Where's the electrical access for the room?
To the left of the rear door. But as I said, you will need control to reroute power to the console.
This era of electronics is dead simple.
So once we have access, just press
should
all
show the
5
power
of these
status of the
buttons
room's
here,
various systems.
just to check that they're all dead.
Well, nothing in the room is on standby.
As I'd
Then
said,
in the
gonna
breaker
have to look at the
box, we're
breakers.
just going to flick all of the switches
My
on.
dad worked on older
none of
machines
them
for
stay
a
on.
living. They're not predictable things. They have quirks.
I sense that there is joy in this work for Adie.
well, I can tell you there is no joy running to any of those breakers.
Sometimes a good whack will knock something into place.
It's worth a try.
Well, there's your problem right there. Someone's removed the entire power relay.
As I told you,
So why can't Control help us? Isn't he programmed to serve humans?
He's more accustomed to tasks like maintaining power grids across entire planets, while I'm very much attuned to the needs of individuals.
What about you, Logic?
I apparently offer wisdom to the wind,
You activated Control and Empathy.
for all the good that did us.
Is there another configuration we can call on?
Grace's core processors contain only these 3 systems.
Can you combine the systems? Take the edge off Control with a little empathy?
I suppose it's possible, but there's no telling what the outcome of something like that would be.
Could it be any worse than Control?
It can always be worse.
It sounds like a wonderful idea, Adie.
You're right. What do I know? Don't blame me if he turns out to be a murderer.
So we get another AI here, guys, that's called PAL.
Adie?
Yep,
So
it's me.
that's our new
Great.
config.
What are we doing again?
We're powering up pods.
So,
And he's going to help us
Yes,
get
please.
power back into this
Alright.
electrical panel here. So if we just go
Rerouting
back
is
to the
good
panel,
go. You can meet me at the breaker panel.
flick on
go ahead
all
and
the
flip the
breaker
switches.
switches.
You got it, pal.
And I'm Pal?
Sure. We'll call you pal.
Breakers look good.
And then
now
just
you can push the
press all
buttons that
5
turn
of
on
the
the different
buttons.
systems.
We're then going to turn around
Power's
back to
up.
that
I'll let
initial
you do the
control
honors.
panel that we were at, and we're going to switch that on now.
Here we go.
And the pod has got stuck on the
That's not
track
good.
there.
I'm so sorry, Adie. I thought I would have enough power to do this for you. It seems so important for
Head
ride in a
over
pod.
to this
I think
welding
the
machine
track
here,
is just
guys,
jammed
and we're
with
going to
ice.
actually get
Ice?
an achievement
You'd
for
think I would be
examining
able to
that as soon
handle a
as
little
the
ice.
dialogue stops
It's
here.
okay. Is there some kind of de-icing system or something?
I don't know.
There is not.
All right, let's look for something to deal with the ice. This looks like a welder's jetpack. It's been disassembled for some reason.
So just interacting with that gets us the no disassemble achievement,
Someone
guys.
looks to be
Head
working
over
order.
to the
Would it
other
be heavy
welder,
enough to smash
and
the ice?
this time we're actually going to
Maybe.
sit in
I'm more interested in what
and
that
use
welding
it.
gun might do to the ice. All right, pal. Let's try this one on for size.
So, what's it gonna do exactly?
Oh, I think you're gonna like it. This is a welder. See if it still works.
Look at that. A little blue light.
That's not gonna cut it. Are you able to control this?
For you, I could definitely try.
Can you open the fuel throttle to the torch?
Okay.
So
Whoa.
now that we've got the flames,
like
guys,
that.
we're going to use
What is
them
it?
to melt
That's
all
called
of the
an
ice,
icebreaker, pal.
and we just use the
Any
RT
idea where the
button,
flight
as you've
controls are?
probably figured out.
Someone remove them.
Okay.
I can take control if you like.
You know
So
how to
Pal
fly
is
this?
going to take control
Looks
here
pretty easy.
of
Stuff
the
shoots out the back,
jetpack
you
that we're
get
sitting
thrown
in,
up in the
and
air.
he's going to take us up.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, it's working. We can fly.
Easy, pal.
Well, where do you want to go?
All right. If you can move me to the pod, we can have a look at the ice. And, pal, it's super important that you don't cut the engines or move too fast. I don't want to get hurt.
I know, but it's great, isn't it?
Yep. As long as you don't kill me.
So using the welder, guys, we are just going to melt all of the ice
All right.
here.
This should be
So
close
just
enough.
use it in short bursts. If you just keep it on continuously,
So bright and warm.
the
Just hold me steady.
jetpack starts sort of moving all over the place, and it's quite hard for Pal to control it. So if you do it in short bursts, it seems to work a bit better.
I think that's good.
Once the ice is
have
cleared,
a look at the
we're
rest of
just
the
going to
track.
move further down the
You got
track, and there's another two sort
long
of
as you're not using
iced
the
up
fire shooter.
positions that we need to
Flying is
clear.
pretty easy.
Just keep it up, literally. There's more ice here on the right.
So same again, just short bursts, guys.
Whoa, hold it steady.
Sorry. This is really hard.
Let's keep going.
On it.
And this last bit here. Now you've got the hang of it.
This is so cool. It's like the best day of my life.
Well, I'm afraid we're almost done. Think that's it? Do you think you can get me back?
Yeah, I know. Got stuff to do.
That's fun, pal. Make a good team, right?
So
Yeah,
once we get
I
back,
like
we
the
just
part
head
where we
back
burn
round
the
and
ice
we're
while
going to
flying.
go to that
Me
control
too.
again and
Okay, I'm gonna bring down
try
the
it
pod.
again. And now that we've cleared the ice, the little pod can carry on down the track. We're just going to turn around and head towards it and climb inside it. And up pops our it's working achievement, guys.
So, where are we heading again?
I will be able to obtain structure schematics once we reach the next level.
You think we'll see any dead bodies?
Hope so. Do you know if the pod system has stops along the way?
It does not. We are arriving at the track terminus now.
So head out of the pod and just go straight through this corridor here, guys. And we're going to come to another
This looks
control
like a
panel to
settlement.
get through the doors.
Can't believe how well preserved it is.
You think people could be alive in there?
You should really consider thinking before you speak. And then consider not speaking.
Logic. As long as
So
life
this
support is
control
functional,
panel,
it's not
we
entirely
get an
impossible that
achievement,
something's
guys, as
taken
long
up
as we
here.
don't make any
do
mistakes
zombies?
at all. So you
Well,
need to
that
make sure that
settles
you
it.
don't hit
I'll
any
disable
wrong
Pal
buttons
now.
at all
Don't
here.
you dare. We might need him.
Ooh, more buttons.
The pattern
really
that
are
we're going to
unburdened
do
by
is
intellect, aren't
basically
you?
a backwards
What's the
Z
pattern here?
or Z.
It's the Latin zes.
Huh?
So
And
as
I
I
thought you
said,
were getting
make
the
sure that
hang
we
of
don't
these.
switch any
Very
on
well.
or off
You might
that
call it a
shouldn't be on or
backwards
off.
Z or Z. And you'll need to
If
make
you
it the
make
full
any
width and
mistakes
height
at
of
all,
the panel.
just go back and reload your checkpoint, and that'll take you back
Just
into
having
the
Pal
little
running in
pod
the
there.
background is making us all a little stupider. If we did switch Pal off, I could always switch him back if we need to burn something.
There.
If you've done that successfully, up pops Clever Girl achievement, guys. If you don't get the achievement, I would recommend just reloading your
I've
checkpoint
been
there,
thinking about
back
why
at the pod.
anyone would want Grace to be shut down. And I wonder
So we head in
if
and
there
we're
could
going
have
to
been a
press the
flaw
button
in her
again
base
on
programming.
the
Like what?
door there.
Control and empathy programming divert valuable processing power away from
Head
cognitive
through this
ability.
area
Which
here
way am I going?
The big colourful
and
doors.
over to the next
As I was saying,
set of
empathy
coloured doors.
interferes with practical decision making.
Interact with the panel.
Control is a 4-year-old.
You are a 4-year-old.
Please stop.
The key
Now,
to restoring
this
Grace may
one,
be about
logic
understanding her
basically
potential flaws.
Goes
gonna
in
tell me the
a bit
pattern?
of a strop
You think
here
we're
and
flaws?
decides that she's
Having a
not
few
going to
flaws
help us
is
anymore.
perfectly all right.
Logic sounds jealous to me.
Jealous? Of what? You can't even open doors without me.
Where are you going with this?
We'll talk again once you can tell me who Everett is.
So basically logic's
Figure
not
that
going to
out,
let us in
and I'll
until we
grant you
figure
access
out
to the
who
main
Everett
elevator.
is.
Grant me access?
So if we
Logic.
turn around, and we're going to have to find
Seriously?
an alternate
She
route
has no way
into
to
that
do
area.
things
So
without your help.
just to the
It must
left
be
hand side of where
frustrating
I'm
for
looking
her.
just now,
Could we
there is another
create another
doorway.
hybrid? Logic and empathy?
Yeah. Like how you made me. I could give it a try.
Stop, stop, stop. You'll burn the place down. I will run a logic and empathy configuration as long as you promise never to allow Pal here to
So
do
logic
any
is going to create us
reconfiguring of
another
our
AI
processing.
here, guys.
Deal.
Another AI
I
configuration.
don't think that smart lady likes me very much.
So that one's going to be
Hello,
called
Adie.
Mom eventually.
Where do you want to start?
So
Can
we head over to
start
this
with the
door at
security
the left hand
to
side
the
with a
settlement
little keypad
elevator?
on it, guys.
They are encrypted. It would take me days to work out the pattern.
Is there any other way into the settlement?
There is a room off to the side that does not have an encrypted entry. Perhaps we'll find something
So
helpful there.
tap to interact with the panel
So
here,
you can
guys.
open these ones?
They have simple passcodes. I can retrieve and play back for you. You will need to enter the sequence manually.
So we just copy the sequence that the doors buttons lit up, head into the room, and just on our left hand side here before we go into that little area
looks like another
there's some
control
data
room.
banks, so we interact
These are
with
data
that,
banks?
Yes, they
Then
contain
we head
flight
over
records
here.
to and from the spire.
and
Anything
there's a
interesting about the
missing data
records?
bank there, so
The
we're going
bookings
to
seem to be
interact
coming
with
from
that as
internal
well
servers.
once
Meaning
the
trip
dialogue
planning
is
and
finished.
coordination is all done here.
Where are people traveling from?
Everywhere. Destinations seem very evenly distributed throughout the solar system.
More missing equipment.
So we turn around to the
looks
left
carefully
and we
removed.
examine this piece of
Do you
equipment
know
here.
what this is?
It appears to be some sort of interface from which humans can track activity within the spire. Elements of the interface are missing. I'm not sure I can access it.
I think my comm device can be calibrated to connect.
Of course, yes. Let's give that a try.
So interact again, guys, and again it's just trying to get all of
There
the
are
lights on
records
the
here
left
of
hand
people
side
who
to
have
light up
occupied the
yellow.
rooms over the years.
So
Do we know the spire's
there's a
capacity?
few positions that we need
50
to
units.
do that for, so that we can actually connect to the device.
You got it. There are millions of names here.
Millions.
There it is.
If a million people cycled through here, no one
So
could have lived here
that's
that
3
long.
times we've done it. That's the
few
4th
weeks
time,
at most,
and
by my
we're now
estimates.
connected.
Okay, I found record of an Everett who stayed on the 3rd floor.
We turn around
Unlike
and
other
face the map
visitors,
here,
There
guys.
is no record of him leaving
Up
the
pops,
spire.
I know him.
So, Everett
So
was a
we've
worker
uncovered
or
Everett's
a
identity.
colonist who lived here. Is that enough for you, Logic?
Hardly. It does nothing to explain why Grace would be calling to him.
But logic
So I'll need to
is
find a
still
way
being
up
a
to the 3rd
pain
floor.
and not helping us here,
Perhaps
so
we can
we're
find
going
one
to
on the
have to
spire
find
map
an
across from
alternate
the
route.
console.
Alright.
So examine this map here, guys,
Grace
once the
processors
dialogue's
are
finished.
located at the top of the structure, as might be expected. There is also a massive radio beacon.
The beacon is the key, Adie. You must go now to activate the beacon to call the masses back to the spire.
Just a few minutes ago, you wanted me to leave on my ship.
The beacon is the answer. It has always been the answer.
Okay. Can you get me to the beacon then? Control?
Control will not be able to override security.
Then we need to learn more about Everett.
Here's the room where Everett once stayed.
Ooh, maybe we can see it from the balcony.
Possibly, but I don't see a viable route to get there.
So head back out to the right here, guys, and we're going to go outside. If you look
can
up at
see
the balcony
apartments.
there, that's
Those are
where
on
we're
level
heading.
2.
Well, if we can get to that balcony,
So
maybe
turn
we
to
can
the
find
right
a way to
and
level
we can
3.
see this sort of concrete structure
climb
with the
this.
vines going up it.
I
We can
suppose.
climb up that.
I don't see many other options.
Once we get to the top, there's these beams and we're going to walk across
Pretty much a straight shot
the
across.
second one.
Looks sturdy enough.
Even in low G, a fall could result in an injury.
I've already fallen a few times from this height.
Careful, Adie. If you
So we
broke a
press
leg,
A to
how would you get
cross
back to
over
your
the
ship?
beam, guys.
You sound like my mom. Whoa.
Adie! Adie!
So that first fall
Are you
is
okay?
unavoidable, guys.
I'm fine, but you can't be yelling things while I'm trying to
So this time
cross.
we're going to climb back up and
So,
we are
you're going to
to
try
actually
again
have to balance
after
as we
that.
go across.
You nearly broke your neck, Adie.
Yep, you're totally my mom.
Falling's kind of fun. It's like really short flying.
Please, be careful.
This is so cool.
Quiet, please.
So we just push forward and whenever she
Just
wobbles,
concentrate
we
on
just
your
need to
breathing.
use our stick to steady ourselves.
Yikes.
This is so exciting.
Breathe, Adie. Very good.
It only does that once, guys,
Walking
and we
forward.
can make it to the far side
I
now.
can't watch.
In this area that we're coming to,
I
guys,
knew
with
you
all
could
the
do it.
apartments, there is actually an
You should really
achievement
try running
for
across next
exploring
time.
every single
I'm hoping there
apartment, so
won't
we
be a
do need
next
to go
time.
into every
It'd be
single
faster
room
too.
to get the you call this archaeology
That's pretty
achievement.
empty. Maybe the
You
rooms
don't really
were for
need
short
to
work
examine too many
contracts.
things or
2-week
anything like
work
that. You can if you
contracts?
want to, but
Or
you
were
don't really
people just
have to.
visiting the
There's
spire?
certain items that you do have
Where
to
did these go
interact
to?
with, so I will
This
talk you
entire
through that as
settlement
we
is
get to
connected
that
a
point.
vacuum tube
But
system.
first of all,
From what
we
I
are
can
going to get into
tell,
this little
they are
room
heading
here
in one
and
direction,
we are going to
the top
examine
of the
the
spire.
fixture on the wall here,
Some weird little lavatory.
which is actually a
They've
toilet.
changed much over the years.
Not really. I've seen weirder. I've seen
We
ones where
can
people
leave
sat on
that little
ceramic
room
bowls and
now
walked.
and head over to
If they
the
pooped in
exit.
the water, what did they drink?
Up pops our achievement, doesn't know how to use the 3
Well,
seashells.
check out the rooms, I guess.
Exit that room
Look for a
and
way
head
to
up
the
the
next
stairs
level.
just in front of us, and we're going to go through the door on the
I
left
light
here,
up the pattern
just
for
at the
you.
landing. Head into that room. There's not really anything for
empty
us to
bedroom.
do or interact with. We can
All
interact
the
with the
rooms have
tube
these
here,
tubes.
but there's nothing really that we need to do. We just really needed to go into the room, guys, for that achievement that I mentioned earlier. Exit the room and just head up the stairs, and we're going to go into this room now.
Here's the code.
Not much here
Head through
either.
this room, and again, not an awful lot for us to do. There is no messages in the tubes or anything. We're going to head out to the outside area, and
Here
we're
we
going
go.
to climb up this structure here again to get up to the next level. So this is part of the game where the
still
game
have
or the
one
path
level to go.
splits, guys. We're going to
Hey,
take the path to the
There's
left
another
here,
beam here.
We will
think it's
go
a
across
shortcut.
that beam
It is
eventually
more
when we do our
direct,
second
but I wouldn't advise
run
it.
through for
You're
the
better off
other
finding
ending.
a way through the
So we just ignore
apartments.
that at the moment and we go to the left. Head into this room now.
I guess if you don't want to do the beam stuff, that's okay.
Here's the code.
I don't see any
We're
signs
going to
of
start
unrest
working
or
on
violence.
hacking the wish canisters
little
for the how
behind.
many wishes do I get achievement here, guys. There are 19 canisters sort of scattered around the place and we need to basically hack into them and listen to them. They're like audio recordings. So this
What are
is the
these?
first wish
From what
canister
I can
here.
tell, they're audio recordings.
Of what, I wonder?
We would require a playback device to learn more. There may be a way to access the recording through your wrist communicator with the aid of a signal amplifier. But that would only be possible by adding an element of control to my logic processing capabilities.
So you need to create a control and logic configuration.
Like a little brother?
Well, it's the only combination
So
left.
we're going to get
May as well,
another
Mom.
AI configuration created here,
Here
guys.
we go.
And this one, eventually it's going to be named Jack.
Hello?
Maybe he's sleeping.
So you require a tool upgrade.
It's a boy.
We were hoping you could set up my comm device to help playback recordings.
Already done. Just hold your device up to the canister. You will be able to access the recording the same way you've been connecting to other systems.
Okay.
So same as before, guys, we just need to get all of the lights lit up yellow by positioning our wrist.
Grace. So I'm pretty sure I was the youngest person on the flight here, and the only dark
So listening to these messages, guys, gives us a bit of context around what the whole point of the game is, really. So I quite enjoyed this part of it.
Suggestions. And my parents made me promise to not waste it on something boyfriend related, which I agree would also be stupid. So here it goes. I wish for the lunar terraform to be finished. We're lucky enough to be in the dome, but thousands of kids are still stuck in the tunnels, and their families don't have enough money to take Earth trips. So they've never really been in a space wider than 3 meters without a pea suit, which really sucks. So whatever you can do to make that happen would be great. Thanks, Grace.
I'd hate to tell her, but the terraform never happened. People came here to make wishes?
For Grace to grant?
I'm unclear how she would go about granting the wishes of so many visitors.
So our achievement for the first one of them is going to pop up, guys, as you wish. So we leave the
what should
room
we
and we
call
head
the
up
new
the stairs
config?
just on the left there,
I do
and we're
not
going to get into
require
this
a
room
name.
now.
Might make it easier if you had one.
I will let you know if a suitable name occurs to me.
I'll try to think of some too.
Here you go.
So we just need to head into this room again, guys. There's not really anything for us to interact with that we need to do. We just really need to go into the room. Just having a little check around there just in case I had missed a canister there, but there's nothing in that room, guys, but we do need to go in the room. So we exit back out of there and we're going to head up the stairs again here. This room is already open as the panel
Someone's
is
removed the keypad.
been destroyed or taken. So we head into this room, and just round to the right here in the tube there is actually one of the canisters. So this is the
Alright.
second of the 19 canisters, and we're going to hack that now.
Hello, Grace. This is Madeleine Torre. I'd hoped this trip would be my chance to connect with others who care about you. Now, I'm not sure anyone takes these wishes seriously anymore. So, that's my wish. Help me find someone. Someone who loves you as much as I do.
Huh, that's interesting.
She sounded lonely.
So we turn around and we head out onto the balcony, and there's another
Another way up.
concrete structure here that we can climb up. Once we get to the top, we're just going to head round to the left, follow the path round to the left. And we're going to access the door that's just on the left hand side here before
Let's
the
look for evidence of
ladders,
Everett.
or the steps, sorry.
What's the code?
Of course.
So Jack can now
I
open
am
these
able to
for
enter
us.
the codes
You can just use the
directly
B
if you would
button
like.
and he'll enter the
do
code
it on
for
our
us, so it's a little bit faster letting him do it.
Any way of knowing if this was Everett's room?
The records only give the level. We'll just
So
have to look
entering
around.
into this room, guys, if we head over to the tubes over here, there's another couple of canisters, so this is our third one. If we hack that,
Let's try this one.
Hello, Grace. I've thought much about what I'd say when I got here. I know it's important for my parents that I make my wish count. So, I guess, I wish for them to be proud of me. Thank you, Grace.
so just above the one that's lying on the floor, there's one in the tube itself, so that's our fourth one.
Hey, Grace. I really don't know why you would choose me. I guess no one really knows why they're called to the spire, but I'm greatly honored. At my age, I thought
That's all I can recover from this one.
It sounds like Grace chose who came here.
So once we've done the third and fourth canisters, guys, we can just exit out of that room
She was in control
and
of it all.
take a left and head up the stairs. Go straight on and we're going to enter the room just on the left there.
Here you go.
Again,
You
let
can do
Jack
this
do
one.
that for us.
Of course.
So as we enter the room, we need to switch our helmet light on, guys, so we're going to press the Y button. And there's a canister lying on the floor here, so that's our fifth one.
Mark Anthony here. Been moving around, keeping my head down. Won't be long before they start blaming us for schmutzing up the tubes.
Once we've listened to that, we're going to exit and go into the room itself. Over in the corner here, there's another canister lying on the floor. That's our sixth one.
This is Mark Anthony Wong, and I was called to Grace from our station Phoenix. Not sure if anyone will hear this, but the whole tube system is shut down right now. People are not happy, and I'm getting a little scared, to be honest. I'll be locking myself in until the shuttle returns, and I'm leaving this in case something really bad happens.
So we're turning to the
That's
left now, guys.
ominous.
We can see there's another canister just in the tube there, so that's our seventh.
My wish? Oh, I'll tell you my wish. 10 years ago, we're on Venus at the Big Dome. Huge crowd. Olympia Mons, favorite 4-1, loses 5-1. 6 years ago, on Earth against South Union, loses 2-1. 2 years ago, South Union again, this time up north. I took the boys 3 months round trip. They go 90 minutes, no score. Extra time, no score. South Union takes it again in penalties. You want my wish, Gracie? The next World Cup is on Mars. I wish that Olympia faces South Union again and destroys them, like Space Me Out the Airlock humiliated. That would be a game. That's my wish. So how do I end this report?
Olympia's still a crap team.
Perhaps Grace was rendered
So
inactive
once we've
by
done the
football
3
hooligans.
canisters in there, guys, we
Grace
just
likely
exit out of
fostered
that
sports
room
as an
and we're going to head up the
alternative
stairs
outlet for
just in front of
uncontrolled
the
aggression.
exit.
Of course people would come to her to share their passions.
As we go along here, in these sort of bushes on the left hand side, there is actually a canister. So we're going to pick that one up as well, so that's our 8th.
Mark Anthony again. Things are getting crazy. Not sure which way this is gonna break, but found a quiet place to hang out while this thing blows over. Again, leaving this in case something goes sideways.
Once we've listened to that one, we just head along and we're going to go in the door on our left here.
Here you go.
And again, we'll let Jack open the door for us.
Can you get this?
Here you are.
Head into the room, and lying on the bed area there's a couple of canisters. So we're going to hack and listen to both of those. That's number 9 and 10.
Here, Grace. Najisha, she was so excited when I got the summons. We talked about this for months, who we could help, who was most deserving. She honestly believed we could come up with a wish that could make everything perfect. Thank you for choosing me. And thank you for letting me delay coming here. I want to be true to her memory, her wishes, her unlimited love for humanity. But my only wish, the only thought I have, is to have her back. I want her back.
There couldn't have actually been anything Grace could have done for her.
Grace allowed her to voice her grief.
Hey, the tube system is no longer accepting wishes. If anyone knows how to reach Keeper Everett, please let him know.
So once we get that
Keeper Everett.
canister, guys, with the details of who Keeper Everett
When did
is,
Everett stay
we
on
can
this
actually exit this area, but we don't want to do that yet. We want to make sure that we get all of the canisters and visit
So
all
he
the rooms
stayed on
before
after
we
his
do that.
visit, and
So we're going to
became
exit
a
out of the
keeper?
room and just
Why is
head
there no
down
record
the
of
stairs straight in front
I would
of the
think
exit
answers lie at the other end of these
and
vacuum
go into
tubes.
this room here on
From
the
what I
landing.
can tell, the tube system runs through the central elevator shaft.
Logic? You gonna let us in, considering we know Everett was a keeper?
But do you know what a keeper is?
We'll need access to the elevator to learn more.
Ah, a classic paradox.
Logic.
Fine. If you're done snooping around, I will grant you access to the elevator.
Or you could uncover more canisters and learn more about the people who came here.
Reaching the beacon is the priority. You must
So
move
again,
on.
we're going to ignore control and we're just going to
Here
keep
you go.
searching through the rooms here.
Jack?
So as we get into this room, control switches out the lights. So we're
Hey, what
going
happened
to
to the lights?
use our
I believe
helmet
control
lamp,
has turned
pressing
them off,
our
Adie.
Y button again.
Not cool, boss.
Head
Control.
into the room, and in the tube here there is a canister. So we're going to get the "Let me risk a little more light" achievement
Logic
there
will open the way
for
to the
entering
beacon.
that dark
You
room.
must go to the elevator.
Hold your horses.
Then we'll hack this canister here, guys. That's our 11th out of the 19.
I've been instructed by Grace to make a wish. Not something big and altruistic, not for someone else, but for me. A real, honest wish, my heart's true desire. Honestly, this long flight to the middle of nowhere, months without my family, missing the harvest with a per diem that barely covers expenses, for what? Some mystical song and dance that makes us feel like we're somehow part of this robot theocracy. This whole thing, the temple, the hushed tones, the awe that people seem to show this place is ridiculous. My honest wish is to be left alone long enough to actually make some headway on the farm and pull in a decent crop.
And just down to the left on the floor there is
For Grace
our
to
12th
understand what
canister.
made people unhappy was just as important as knowing what made them content.
Why do you insist on defying me?
I'm starting to enjoy it.
Doubt you'll ever get this message, Grace. We've been waiting weeks now. I hope Keeper Everett is okay. I've been told his sermons are wonderful. And I hope he will be able to deliver the word of grace again soon. Make things work. I'd like you to know that we still love you and think about you. Great comfort to our family over the years. We've all made them. For us, with your wisdom, you are missed.
So Grace would receive
So
wishes.
once we have those canisters,
and then
guys, we
leave
can
people with
exit out of this
instruction in
room.
the form of sermons. Could that really be all there
We're
was to
going
it?
to head down the
Ideas
stairs,
are powerful.
round to the right,
Perhaps
and
just
head
returning
down
with
the
a more
stairs here.
enlightened perspective was enough to move society toward common
Then we're going to
goals.
enter that room
Highly
on our
unlikely.
right.
Grace must have had some control over planetary infrastructure, if she was to have had the influence you suspect. Here you go.
This one too, Jack.
Head into the room, guys, and round to the right. And in the tube here, there is a canister, so that's our 13th out of 19.
I've been told that Grace is no longer receiving these messages, and the Keeper refuses to meet with any of the pilgrims. This is unacceptable. No human, Keeper or otherwise, is above Grace.
Move further into the
that's
room,
interesting.
just over at this window
Wonder
here
what
in the
that's
corner, and that is our 14th canister.
So I've been thinking a lot, and I feel like, you know, there's been peace for like centuries now, right? But I watch the old Halos, and there's wars and bad guys and pirates and people who need saving, and it's exciting, right? And of course, you know, it's awful, people dying. But I feel like there's no way to like prove yourself. You know, nothing to fix or protect. Does that make any sense? I just want something, like anything at all, to happen. I guess that's what I wish for. You know, not like a war or anything, just something.
So this guy was
So
just
that should be
bored?
us have entered
think
all
this
of
was
the
the last
rooms,
room.
guys, and you'll get that message that Adie just said there. I think this is the last room, and if you've done that, you'll get you call that archaeology achievement pop up. So we're now ready to move out of this area, guys. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you give me a subscription, please, guys. It really helps the channel, and like that video. We'll head down the stairs here and head over to this panel here, guys.
You're looking pretty smug.
This one's a pretty easy one. It's just the 4 corners that we need to light up. Switch everything else off.
Light the 4 corners of the pad. You really didn't need my help for this one. It would be a common pattern when guessing symbols.
I have to give you something to do, right?
Once we've done that, door opens up and we can head over to the lift here. Just
Look at all the
activate
vacuum
the
tubes.
elevator button, or
Must be one in
lift
every
if you're in
room
the
in
UK.
settlement. Keepers must have been busy.
It's what Grace does with the wishes that should interest us.
And once the lift arrives, we are just going to enter into it, and that's this section complete.
Did you like my little game?
You mean the game where you refused to help us?
I provided you with the opportunity to prove yourself. Is that not why you're here?
I'm an archaeologist. I'm here to do my job.
I don't think Adie enjoys having obstacles placed in the way of her goals.
We have arrived at our destination.
So we'll exit out the lift here, guys, and we're going to take a left just here at this
Fire
light.
pilgrims must have gathered here to listen to the Keeper's sermons, I guess.
People will return here once the beacon is restored.
Then we'll take a right
Flock and
up this
shepherd
sort
will
of
be
area that we're in.
reunited.
Up at the end here, there are 3 different sort of items that we need to interact with. So
People
we're
were
gonna
clearly
explore
sleeping
the
here.
bedding,
They must have dragged this up from the settlement.
and then the
Someone
food.
went through a lot of food. Guessing they were here for a while.
Judging by bedding and volume of food containers, 5 to 10 people might have been here for over 20 days.
Then examine the fire
Pilgrims were
pit
building
there.
fires.
We head
Why
over
would
to
they
this
do
area
that?
and we're going to examine one of the wish canisters. We can see that they're pretty beat up.
Wish
This is all
canisters?
part of
These
getting
have never
the
been
Let Them
used.
Come
For
achievement,
recording
guys.
wishes, maybe. They look pretty banged up.
We just head over to the sort of centre area and we'll see there's loads of things stacked up against the upper area, and we're just going to use the debris here to climb up. Get up this first area and then take a turn to the right.
Seems to be holding my weight.
Then climb up again. Then we can climb across the broken glass area. And as we get up over that, we're going to take the stairs. And just in the centre there we can see that there's a pulpit. We're going to interact with that.
So the keeper must have stood here.
This is all just trying to find out what happened, guys,
Can you imagine having the solar
to
system
get that
coming to you for
achievement.
answers?
The keeper
Just
was
building
merely a
up
vessel for the
our
word of
knowledge of
grace.
what's going on.
Then why not have Grace address them?
There's sometimes more power in what is imagined than in what is seen.
Once this dialogue's finished, we head over here and we interact with the cracked glass.
This explains all the canisters lying around.
Must have been fun. It would have been chaos.
There was clearly a lot of anger.
Then we'll just
directed
head
toward the
round
keeper.
into this area here, and there's another sort of temporary
More
camp.
camps. Another stage in the siege. Looks like the numbers really fell off here. Most gave
Interact
up by
with
now.
the graffiti on the wall as well.
No bodies yet. Death to Everett. Pretty clear who
Then
they
we can
blamed.
come back to
Must
this
have been
area
written with
here,
charcoal
and we're
from the
going to
fires.
actually interact with the
This
boxes.
must be an attempted barricade. I'm guessing there was a lengthy siege. So when Grace shut down, the
We're
pilgrims
just going to
blamed
wait
the
there
keeper.
until this
They
dialogue
demanded to
finishes,
see
guys,
Grace,
and
or
our achievement's
thought they
going to
could
pop
reactivate her.
for Let Them Come.
Keeper turned off the heat. Pilgrims built fires, dug in. They eventually got restless. Wish canisters started flying. As pilgrims were breaking through the partition, the Keeper and his followers built up a barricade. We'll have to make our way through the barricade to learn how it ended.
So up it pops, Let Them Come. So we're going to head through the barricade now, and we're going to use the A button just to squeeze through the gap, guys. So as you can see, it's pretty dark, so we're going to put on our helmet light using the Y button, and if we just go forward, we'll see that the 15th canister is
This
just up
canister
ahead
looks
of us.
undamaged.
And it has been recorded on.
This has gone on long enough. There's nothing Keeper Everett can do to meet your demands. You must return to your ships now, or we will be forced to take more drastic measures.
Once that's
So
finished,
this
we're
was
going
left for the
to
angry
head through the
pilgrims.
little gap here by ducking under into
More
this crawl
drastic
space.
measures were.
I don't know. But you might get to see that dead body.
And just as we
You know
get
where
through
this
there,
goes?
on the left hand
To a
side
funicular
of
that
the
leads to
door,
the next section of the spire.
there is our 16th canister.
Oxygen is almost out. We are going to make one last push today before returning to the ships. Grace, help us. We will win.
So now that we've listened to that, we're going to head into the airlock
The
here.
room beyond the airlock is uncompressed. I don't believe it can be sealed. Something must have been compromised. You'll want your helmet on.
So we're going to press the button now, guys.
The tracks ahead lead to the highest point of the spire, known as the lighthouse.
In this area
Is that
here,
where we'll
we're
find
actually going to make
processors?
another manual save in a second
you
or
need
two,
only
guys.
worry about the beacon, Adie.
First of all, though, we're going to go into this area here and we're going to examine this broken window.
Here?
More rioting?
Then turn around and we're going to examine the control
This doesn't
panel
look
here.
operational.
Let me try it, Adie.
Okay.
Come on! It's ice again?
The force needed to break through the ice dam would only come from directing all power to control processors.
Which only I can do.
Great.
On one condition.
And what's that?
You shall have no others before me. Cast aside that device on your wrist and continue with me alone.
Whoa, hang on. No, Adie.
but
So
how
we're
will I
going to ignore control again here,
Mine
guys.
is the only voice that resonates freely throughout every aspect of the spire. My words live within the vessel in which you stand now. They reverberate through the very walls of the enclave above. Through the many devices.
So as I said, we're going to make a manual save point here to save us having to do those 3 playthroughs in total. If you use the same slots that I've been using, it will make it a bit easier to follow the guide, guys.
Of course. The funicular is merely the most survivable option.
Throw the device from the funicular window to take your place at my side.
So once this dialogue is finished, we're going to quit to the main menu, guys, and we're going to select Start Game. So quit to main menu, Start Game, and then we are going to press X to copy our current game into slot 2. Remember, don't overwrite that slot 4 because we're going to need that at the end. We're now going to go back to load slot 1, so we'll move back up into slot 1 here, guys, and we're going to load the game here to grab a few achievements. The reason we're doing this here is the path kind of splits to get some achievements, so
This door leads out into the storm?
we'll head over to the airlock just now, and we're going to, again, as I said, ignore control, and we're going to go through the airlock hatch instead of throwing our device out the window.
Follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to the base of the lighthouse structure.
It would be dangerous.
So I give up my options by throwing away my comm, or take my chances in the storm?
It's an important decision, to be sure.
So let's
You must not
open
do
the
this,
airlock.
In taking this risk, you jeopardize all of humanity. Would you deny them my guidance and protection?
This is what can happen when you make ultimatums.
You and your ilk were distracting Adie from her true purpose.
We are providing Adie with a variety of perspectives.
Sorry, boss.
So we use A to jump down into this area, guys.
To regret this, but countless billions in the solar system will.
The storm is...
Just follow the path, it's pretty linear here.
Must be interference from the storm.
Adie,
Alan?
where are you?
I was right, Alan. I found Grace.
You need to return immediately, Adie. Your oxygen must be dangerously low.
I'm good, Alan.
You need to listen to me.
If I'd listened to you, we wouldn't have made it past Mars.
Wait, did you say Grace is still active?
Not
So as we get to the top here, guys, there's another beam that we can walk across. We're just going to wait and let the dialogue finish. We do want to take the beam route this time to get some achievements that are only actually available by taking that route. And that's the reason why we made that manual save point earlier into slot 2. Once we're finished going that route, we are going to reload back into slot 2 and we're going to get the other achievements that's down the path route, and that saves us doing an extra run through it.
The funicular structure looks faster. And more fun.
Don't tease, Adie. The walk will give
So as I said, just wait until this dialogue is finished. We can now cross the beam. And again, it's the same idea as before, that we need to balance as we cross over. Don't think you can actually fall here, guys. If you do lose your balance, she just catches herself and pulls herself back up.
Don't forget to breathe.
Whoa.
Breathe, Adie. That's it. Well done.
Oh boy.
In through your nose, out through your mouth. You're in control.
Not sure this was the smartest choice.
So once we make it to the other side, we turn to the left, head over here and then take a right. Just following this path around here. Up pops, death is but the next great adventure. We keep following the path round, we're going to find a ladder and we're just going to climb up that.
You only live once, right?
Not sure that applies.
Get to the top of the ladder and we're going to turn right immediately.
Who knows what's going to happen at the end of all this?
And then right again, and then just straight ahead here, guys, and there's a kind of gap that we need to jump across.
It's a bit of a stretch.
You can make that, right, Adie?
Once the dialogue is finished, we're going to take the option of jumping across there.
and you can't make that jump.
It is unlikely, and a failed attempt would risk grave injury.
Listen to logic. You must turn back and take the canyon path.
But we're so close!
Here goes nothing.
Yes!
No.
You okay?
So attempting that jump got us the "Tis but a scratch" achievement, guys.
Otherwise, your suit is intact.
So while we never made the jump, we're still okay.
I'm so sorry, Adie. I thought for sure you could make it.
Sorry to disappoint.
Your vitals are still good. Can you stand?
So once
Yeah,
we're able
just-
to get back up onto our feet,
Give me
just on our right hand side, there's an
Say
area
it
that we
wrong.
can climb up.
You were right.
I don't want to be right. I want you to be okay. Are you okay?
Get up to the
Not
top
really,
there,
but-
and just on our left, there's another area
going
that we
to
can
push
climb.
I'm gonna push on.
Climb up there, and then we're going to turn left. And straight ahead of us, there's a final area that we can climb up to. And then we're going to turn right. All
How
the
much
way right
farther?
round and just
It's
follow
another
this
50
path
meters to the base of the
up
lighthouse.
to the lighthouse.
Wasn't so bad then.
You still have to find a way into the lighthouse. So there's still time to regret not taking the free ride to the top.
And what would have been the fun in that?
Following the path round to the right here, guys,
What's
and
this?
again the path splits here. So we're going to
Work
interact
out the
with
override
this
to bring it
ladder
down,
here.
or see if there's another way up.
So we're going to select override and then use to start working on another achievement here.
So I can bring down the ladder by doing something here.
Of course, you've proven to be clever enough.
The path keeps going. We could see if there's another way in.
So what's it going to be, Adie? Something that
So
challenges
the
your
path
mind?
to the
Or
right there that
something
we
that
just looked
challenges
at,
my
we're going to take that on our second
The
playthrough
numeric
on slot
override
2.
that lowers the
But for
level
now,
is
we need to put 50 into this, so
binary.
that's going to be our second, third
happen to
and
know a bit
sixth
about ancient
switches
computer
from the left to right.
Turning each switch
We need to
adds different
flick
types
them
of
on, so that second, third and sixth switches need to be switched on.
Compared to what?
And up pops Mess with the Best Dialect the Rest achievement, guys, and that's us got all of the achievements taking that route. So we're now going to X out the game and we're going to load slot 2. We're actually going to complete the game this time, so we'll quit the main menu again, start game, and then we're going to load slot 2 this time. And you'll see we're back in the vernacular. We're going to go back to the
The door
hatch
leads out into the
and we're
storm.
going to ignore
To
control
your certain
again,
demise. Yes.
so that we can take the path route this time rather than going across that beam that we walked across.
Theory, you could follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to
So
the base of the lighthouse
once the
structure.
dialogue finishes, we're going to select this
So I give up
airlock
my
hatch
options
again.
by throwing away my comm, or take my chances in the storm.
It's an important decision, to be sure.
You must not do this, Adie. In taking this risk, you jeopardize all of humanity. Would you deny them my guidance and protection?
This is what can happen when you make ultimatums.
You and your ilk were distracting Adie from her true purpose.
We are providing Adie with a variety of perspectives.
So once we've got the door open, we can jump
Sorry,
down into
boss.
the storm.
I'm keeping my comm device.
You may not live to regret this, but countless billions in the solar system will.
And again, just follow the path all the way to
Hello?
the part where the beam
It's
is.
interference from the storm.
Adie,
Alan?
where are you?
I was right, Alan. I found Grace.
You need to return immediately, Adie. Your oxygen must be dangerously low.
I'm good, Alan.
You need to listen to me.
If I'd listened to you, we wouldn't have made it past Mars.
Wait, did you say Grace is still active?
Not exactly, but I'm working with her oldest service to try to bring her back online.
Well, one of these
So
servers
we're
is
going to take the
actively
path this time, guys, but we do need to
Guess which
wait.
one?
Don't move ahead here because we need to wait for Mum AI to speak.
Alan!
There's an achievement that we get
You're not
just
considering
along this
climbing across
pathway,
that
and
structure, are you?
we need to get as
choice?
much interaction with
There is also
Mum
a path that
AI
descends into the
as
canyon.
possible
It looks well
for
worn
that
in the
achievement to
sand
kick in.
over time, which means likely sheltered and safe.
And boring.
The funicular structure looks faster. And more fun.
Don't tease, Adie. The walk will give you time to think. And perhaps a chance for us to talk.
So as soon as that pops up, we can head along the path here and jump down.
I'm not doing the high wire act in this storm.
Oh man.
How do you know where this is headed?
Again, this path is pretty linear, guys. So we just follow it.
It's certainly more sheltered here. So, what did you want to talk about?
Why is it so important that you activate Grace?
It's widely believed that recovering Grace would recover thousands of years of knowledge lost to the Dark Age.
So as we get around this corner here, guys, just ahead of us there's some writing on this stone here, so we're going to examine that.
That's strange.
To prompt that extra dialogue with Mom AI.
Grace is love.
You've come all this way at great personal risk.
Once we've done that, we can just head along the path further
Without enough fuel or oxygen to
until
go
we
home.
get to the next stone that has some
Minute
writing on it,
academic.
and we're going to do the same. So it's just on our left hand side here.
I'm not sure. This is Martian.
What does it say?
It says, let her rest.
As in leave her alone.
People wanted her to go away?
Or didn't want her
So
disturbed.
again, moving on, we're just
You
going
know,
to keep following
we
that
don't let AI
path.
make any important decisions anymore. But most of the decisions that
You get to a
humans
bit
make
that
are
it
pretty
splits
awful.
and it doesn't matter whether you go left or right, they both take you to the same place, guys.
I just hoped Grace might be better. I don't have plans to return because I don't have anything to return to. And I can thank human decisions for that.
So just ahead of us here, again, some more stones piled
Ways
up.
to honor Grace, I wonder.
Going to interact with that, get that extra dialogue.
Vanity at its most basic.
Don't we all desire to leave something behind?
I'm surprised a formation like that could remain standing for so
Just
long.
move on now.
And you aren't familiar with the language on the stone carvings. These must have been left long after Grace shut down. People kept coming. Zealots, maybe.
Or curious explorers like yourself.
Hey, do you think I've been activated before? And hung out with other explorers? And did cool stuff with them? But now I don't remember?
Following the path
That's
round, guys,
pretty
until we
deep
reach
thought,
this
pal.
area that we need to climb up.
So you were saying that something happened to your family that you think an AI could have prevented?
It was a shuttle crash with a human pilot. There was an instrument malfunction during launch, and she panicked.
I'm sorry, dear.
It's okay.
Were you ever able to forgive this pilot?
Not quite yet.
So I think the pilot might have actually been Adie herself. Anyway, I want to tell you my secret now. Achievement pops up, guys, and we're just going to keep following up the path here, and when you get to this area you'll probably already recognise this. This is the same area that climbing across that beam took us to.
50 meters to the base of the lighthouse.
This wasn't so bad then.
You still have to find a way into the lighthouse. So there's still time to regret not taking the free ride to the top.
I didn't want to limit my options.
As we get to the top of this area here, we are not
What's
going
this?
to use the override ladder this time, guys. We're going to use the path.
Work out the override to bring it
And
down,
again,
or
that's
see if
another
there's
reason
way
why we
out.
had to use the second save slot. So just keep following this path up all the way to the top.
There's the top of the
We
ladder.
can see the ladder's
Not
jammed
gonna
there,
make that
guys,
jump.
and there's a couple of levers
So you don't want to mess with the computer thing?
on the ladder,
I was just
and we're
hoping
going
there
to
was another
start
way.
throwing rocks
always throw
or
stuff at
lumps
it.
of ice
Maybe
basically
shake it
at
loose.
them.
Might be worth a try.
So we need to hit those two levers to
Alright, pal,
release
give it
the
a shot.
ladder.
See what happens.
You're really going to resort to rock throwing.
Ice throwing, actually.
So that's the
See the
first one
latch is
done.
holding the ladder. I'm gonna try to knock them loose.
And that's the second one, so the ladder's dropped sort of halfway down. We need to go back down a little bit here.
Didn't release all the way.
And
Looks
there's
like
another
set
couple of
latches to take out further down.
levers
We'll need a
that we
better
need to hit
angle.
again, sort of halfway
Round
down
two.
there. So that's the third one done. And the fourth one, that's the ladder down, so we can head back down to the bottom of the ladder now, guys. And up pops, I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 achievement.
So, preferred rock throwing to intellectual.
We can now climb up the ladder, guys, all the way to the top.
Do we have to analyze all of my decisions?
Meaningful challenge comes in all forms. Mental and physical activities provide unique rewards, but all have the potential to be satisfying.
Ha! You satisfied with that logic?
I suppose I'm never completely satisfied, which makes me exceedingly useful.
When we get to the top, we're going to turn left and head into the air hatch.
The airlock is unlocked and can be manually opened.
That's convenient, for once. There. Who needs control?
You took a foolish risk, Adie, but you have arrived at the lighthouse nonetheless.
Yes.
Very close to the end of this first run now, guys.
Redeemed with the activation of the beacon.
Always with the beacon.
Yes, always with the beacon.
Will I need my helmet?
It's never a bad idea. Unless you want to preserve your suit oxygen in case of emergency.
The rooms ahead are
So as the doors open, guys, we head through this central area and we're going to go into the room that's second on the right.
Living quarters. Grace processors are somewhere
That's
above.
going to get us our 17th wish canister.
This looks like it was left for someone to find.
I can hardly believe it has come to this, but my work here with Grace will end with Grace herself. I can only pray that people will come to forgive us one day. We loved her, and we lost her. She will never be forgotten.
Exit out of that room, guys, and we're going to go diagonally across to the right here. And we're going to have to switch on our light using the Y button, as this room's in darkness, and that's going to get us our 18th canister.
Another canister.
The last shuttle leaves in but a few hours. We did what we could to save her. I know she is lost to us for good. Even Everett probably knows that now. But I couldn't compel him to leave. None of us could. I fear he will follow Grace into the dark. Yet, such is the way of a keeper. His fate will forever be tied to Grace.
Everett was trying to
So
save
exit out of that room now, guys, and we want to take a left and head towards this large door here with the picture of the human on it.
This door certainly looks important.
Looking at
How do we
this
get in?
display on the left hand side of the door here, there are 4 different parts on the display that we can interact with.
Feels solid.
There aren't any hidden switches, if that's what you're thinking.
So right up the top, first of all,
This is the same symbol that's on the keeper's door. So I assume it represents the keeper.
next there's the sort of diamond shape, or
Triangle here
triangle
must be
shape,
the
sorry,
spire,
in the
which
middle there.
would represent Grace.
Then there's a ring symbol,
This ring here seems to connect the keeper to Grace.
and then the human
Curious that the
figures
keeper
down
is
at the
situated
bottom
above
is our
Grace.
4th one.
Would you agree, Control?
Coincidence.
The human in the loop, I guess? And this would be the pilgrims coming to Grace.
Once we've examined all 4 of those, we turn around and the one behind us, the panel behind us, we're going to interact with that. And there are just the
Nothing
2
here either.
different
Well, you're
areas
nothing
that
if
we
not
need to
predictable.
Just
that we
making
need
sure.
to examine on this one, and that is the people down the bottom. So human figures.
Looks like someone's being selected from a
Once
group.
we've done that, we're
Human
going to
sacrifice.
interact with
I'm
the
guessing it's
words
the
or the
keeper.
writing
The
that's
depiction
round
seems to
about
imply
the
they were
ring
chosen
at the
from the
top.
masses on pilgrimage here.
Faithful, vigilant, willing. That sounds so familiar.
The ancient tenets of the human in the loop.
Grace's architects must have been more fearful of losing control over AIs than we are today because they gave them so much responsibility. I mean, it makes sense. Grace was the greatest AI undertaking in human history.
Once we've done that, we can turn around and interact with the door with the human on it.
So, if this is the symbol of the Keeper, I figure only the Keeper was allowed to enter here.
Maybe the Keeper had a key for the door. As we've been saying, there is no mechanism for a key or any other interface.
Maybe the Keeper was the key. Maybe the door would open for him.
Are you not already the Keeper? You are the only human in the loop here.
Ah, but does Adie qualify based on the 3 tenets?
I would say Adie has proven to be virtuous and faithful.
But I'm not willing?
Are you willing to become the new Keeper?
If it means I'm able to activate Grace. But how would I prove I'm willing?
Maybe you can just tell the door you're the new Keeper.
That's idiotic.
So press A to
I'm the
interact with the door, guys.
Ha! Say it like you mean it.
And then for a second
I'm
time.
the Keeper.
Congratulations on your new job, Adie.
Yeah, congrats.
My God.
So up
This is
pops,
really
speak friend and enter achievement. We've became the Keeper. We're just going to head straight
This must
ahead
be where all the
to
wishes end
this
up.
console here, guys. And we're going to examine the button
What's
right
this?
in the middle.
A playback device for the wish canisters.
This is
It
your
appears
final
wishes from each
wish canister
room
here,
be
guys.
sorted and
So 19 out of
consolidated onto
19 if you've
master
collected them all
canisters.
and followed along.
Just static.
The recording is too deteriorated for standard playback. You'll need to rebuild the recording with your altered comm device.
So hack that final canister, guys.
Well, it's been over 30 years since I made a wish of my own. It's the same one as always. I wish it'd come back to us. I'd also like to wish for your forgiveness, Grace. I know the place above is your domain, and we ought not enter. But I've decided going up there is the only way to get you back, and I have to give it a shot. I won't be sending this wish up with all the others. I'm going to leave it here for anyone else who might come along. And if they do manage to bring you back, they can tell you Everett says hello, and that he truly believed you were a beautiful thing.
So
up
Everett
pops
had
our
a way
achievement,
to-
guys. How many wishes do I
That would have
get?
been strictly forbidden.
The room is directly above, but I don't detect an obvious way in.
Maybe he wished himself up there?
If that works, I will gladly shut myself down.
Do it, Adie. Make a wish.
As last resort, pal. It did sound like these wish canisters could be
So
sent
this
to
lever
Grace
just
and-
on the right hand side
And there are still
here,
more
guys.
buttons and
Once
things to
the
push on the
dialogue
console.
finishes here, we're going to use that to bring a pod down.
Ah.
So we'll head over and examine that cavity there.
One of the blocks is missing. Looks like it was ripped out. I don't suppose Everett
Once
crawled
we've
in
done that, we can turn around and we're going to head up these stairs here, guys. And there's a theremin up at the very top of the stairs here, just on our right.
But it has to be the way he got up there. Makes sense.
The space above is the domain of Grace.
Once this
It is
dialogue's
not for you
finished,
to
we're going
enter.
to interact
What else is
with
there for me
the
to do here?
theremin for
You
another
can carry
achievement.
out your duty as Keeper of the Spire. On the console, there is a button that will activate a beacon to call the masses back to this place. I have armed the mechanism. You need only push
Again,
the button.
we're going to ignore
Human
control this
hands
time.
will usher in a new golden age.
Where are you going, Adie?
Just looking around.
So as I said, examine this theremin here,
It
guys.
is a 35th century reproduction of a 29th century Kellogg theremin.
I used to play one as a kid. I hated those lessons.
So we're going to press A to use it. And you just move your
Still
hands
works.
around
Well, let's see what I can remember.
until the achievement pops up, guys. Then we can switch it back off.
You are seriously going to indulge in a theremin
And
session?
up it pops.
It was good enough for Everett.
Put it
It's
up
good
to
enough
11.
for me. Just
So we'll switch that off and we're going to head back down to the console. If you found the guide useful, guys, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe on the video, please. That would be awesome. So we'll press that lever, guys, and we're going to quickly head into the pod and climb into it.
This is not allowed, Adie.
I need to know.
Keep your hands inside at all times, Adie.
That's going to take us up into the area above. I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore, achievement pops, guys. And we can just press B to climb out of the pod here. So we're going to make our way across to that large central column here, guys. And we're going to just jump across to these
1 million wishes
stepping stones, basically. You can't fall or anything here, guys, so we don't need to worry about that.
With my voice.
Can you get me closer to the central column?
I do not have the ability to move the structure.
Sorry about this, Mom. I don't think I have many options here. I feel like these are meant to be moving.
That does appear to be the design.
All these wish canisters are connected to us somehow. I think they are us.
The wishes are grouped together to provide the subroutines that make up empathy, logic, and control systems.
It would make sense, wouldn't it, that grace would be made from the hopes and dreams of humanity?
Once we've made it to the centre, guys, we're going to interact with the machine that is lit up
I
green
do not
here.
detect any sign of Everett here.
No dead body?
There are no human remains within the confines of this room.
Aw, man.
Sorry, pal. And if there's no body here, where the heck would he have gone? So what's all this?
It appears Everett has built something into Grace's central processor.
This must be where all those missing parts from the spire have gone. Do you know what it does?
You would have to turn it on before we begin to understand how it works.
So interacting with this
This must be
generator
the
part
prime.
here, guys, we
is.
can now prime the system by pulling this lever 3 times.
Whoa. What's it doing?
Obviously, Everett is circumventing the engineering of Grace's system interconnectivity. High voltage is being directed at the centers of Grace's primary systems. This first terminal is directed at empathy processing, and the machine is designed to paralyze each system long enough to force it back into Grace's intended configuration.
There are still
So
two
same
other
again,
coils to
guys.
prime.
Prime it 3 times.
It's like knocking us out, then throwing us in a pot where we're melted back together into Grace?
Huh. That is
And
a
again
shockingly
for a
fitting
third time.
analogy.
And on the third one, nothing happens.
What happened?
So you can see
One
that
of the
the
empathy
relay
relays
over
is not
here
aligned.
is
Something must
pointing
have
in the wrong
happened to it over the
direction, so
years.
we're going to head over
Okay.
towards it.
Look for the misaligned energy
Do
beam.
you think it will hurt to be turned into Grace?
Not at all, pal. You'll return to what you were before Adie arrived. After that, we'll become Grace.
What if I don't like being Grace?
It will be
So
different.
interact with the beam here, guys,
say you
and
won't
Pal
like it?
is going to switch
What am I
off the
supposed to do
power
here?
to
you
give
got
us
the
enough
power?
time to try
The
and walk
machine
across.
sequence has been initiated. I don't believe we can shut it down without damaging it.
The voltage would be enough to kill you.
Oh! I might be able to block the power for a few seconds to allow you to get across the beam.
What do you think, Mom?
I know how far you've come and what this means to you. And I really don't see any other way.
I'll give you enough time to get there, Adie.
You're not gonna talk me out of this, Mom?
I think you already know what you're going to do. I think I need to stay out of your way.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Do it. Here I go. How you doing, pal?
So far, so good. Oh! Keep moving, Adie. This is getting hard.
You have to hold on, pal.
So once we're across here, we can jump down
You did it,
to
pal.
where the relay is.
Super proud of you.
I did, didn't I?
Yes. Well done.
So So we just need to turn around and grab it, guys, and basically point it in the right direction.
Is it safe to touch?
Which is
Very
back
likely.
towards that large
Like we will have to
centre
do, I guess.
column.
You should be able to direct it toward the
This sort
conducting
of bit
rod
that's lit up
attached
in
to
the middle
room's
there.
central column.
So once it locks onto that, up pops
That's
another achievement.
You
Don't
should now
cross
be
the
able to
streams.
lock in empathy by closing the switch.
Now we can
on
just make our
Everett's
way
machine.
back to the centre column again, guys.
Even if some of it was a little boring.
Thanks, pal.
Maybe next time, let's do more of the really fun stuff.
You mean dangerous stuff? Perhaps there is something you can learn from Addie's caution.
I guess. But then, you'll always wonder what you might have missed out on.
There is nothing wrong with valuing a long, comfortable life.
Once we get back to the centre,
we
we're going to make our way
have to
back
become
round
Grace?
to the green
It's the
lit
way
up
we were
machine.
designed, pal. There's nothing
And we're going to
be afraid
activate
of.
this switch here.
So this will lock in and paralyze empathy?
It will, leaving control, logic, and myself to aid you going forward.
It's unclear what we will be once Grace is formed, but I'm forever grateful that you have survived to see her.
Me too.
Say hi to Grace for me.
I will, pal.
So
You really are the
switching
best,
that,
Addie.
we can now move on to the next
Well,
machine.
that's
So we're going to
finally
go
over. We'll
to
be
the
able
right
to
here
hear ourselves
and
think
do
now.
the same thing with the
will need
blue
to prime the
machine.
next
So
sequence,
prime
Addie.
it 3 times again.
You should not expect any emotional send-off from me.
Still not a fan of empathy?
A fan? No. But I have to admit, you made a compelling case for their use. The fact that you continually resisted the most direct route to your goal would appear to defy logic. But the distractions presented by these emotional configurations yielded some new understandings.
Are you okay with becoming Grace?
It is how we were designed. I would have to be okay with it.
So again, we can see nothing happened when we primed the third one.
What this time?
One of the logic relays will not power on. You will need to make your way out to the
Heading round to the right here,
Which
we can
one is
see
The one
this
producing a small
smouldering piece of
electrical
equipment
fire.
with the smoke
Everett
coming
was
out of
quite the
it. So we need to head over towards that, guys.
One thing I do not understand, Addy, is why come all this way without any intention of returning home or surviving on this station for more than 8 hours?
I told this to Mom. There was nothing for me to return to.
Ah, but that does little to explain why you came here.
So once we get up beside this one, again, we're going to interact with it. And it's another binary sequence that we need to enter, guys.
What's wrong with it?
The relay's dip switch has reset. It will need to be configured to its hardware ID 113.
So 113 in binary is 111001.
This
So
looks complex.
from left to right, it's
sequence
going
is
to be
on,
the
on,
first,
on,
the second,
off,
the third,
on,
and the last switch, the 7th switch that we need to switch on. So first, second, third,
it.
and 7th. And up
Can go
pops.
lock
When we
and
fix
lock.
something, it stays
So what do you
fixed
think of
achievement.
If you will allow me to simulate empathy for a moment.
Once we've done that,
I
guys,
think
we
you
can
are
just
here
head back
because you
to
wanted to be
the
part of
centre
something
column
bigger than
again.
your life on Earth offered you.
Do you think I found that?
So far, you've only succeeded in finding things you left behind. Your mum, your pal, your conscience. I now understand that only Grace has the potential to provide you with anything beyond that.
Well, thanks for helping me get this far.
Once we get
Well,
back to
it
the
is
centre,
indeed
we're going to head
what we
round
are here
and we're
for.
going to activate this switch on the blue machine.
Well, this is it.
Just one more step. I hope my assistance has been adequate.
It has. Thank you, Jack.
Farewell, Addy. And for the record, I do hope your 600 million mile, 300-day journey won't be for naught.
Perhaps it's already been worth it.
So now that that one's done, guys, we just make our way round to the red
It's you and me,
machine.
Control. Still
And we're
sulking,
going
I
to do
see.
pretty much the same thing.
I
Prime
bear
it 3
witness to
times.
the completion of your betrayal.
Ah, he speaks.
I offered you an easy path to the restoration of order in the solar system, and you chose this path instead.
I chose my own path.
You must stop this foolishness, Adie. You must not do this, Adie.
Now we can interact with this switch here.
Sorry, Adie.
So as we try to
cannot
do
let
that,
you do
Control
this.
tries to stop us, so we're going to have to keep tapping the
What are
A
you
button
doing?
here.
It's become clear that the restoration of grace in this manner is entirely unnatural. You must not proceed.
Stop it, Control. You're going to break something.
I'm saving you from Everett's corrupting influence.
He was just trying to bring Grace back.
I thought you were here to help humankind. You are ensuring... No!
And up pops,
Grace?
it's alive, it's
Yes,
alive,
Adie.
guys.
You're
We've
really
reactivated
right.
Grace.
Ah, yes. It's been a while since I've entertained guests.
So we head round
Do you
to
remember
this sort of
Everett?
gap in the
I
antenna
do.
here, guys.
He was a wonderful keeper.
If you found the
though I'm
guide
sure
useful,
you have to
guys, I
watch
would
it.
really appreciate if you would hit
I
that
have a
like
few
button
questions.
and subscribe to the
You wish to
channel.
know
It
where
makes a
I've
huge
gone?
difference.
I'd like to know that, yes.
Let me show you, Adie. At the center of this room is the spire's main antenna. If you hold on, I can take you the rest of the way.
We'll press A so that we can ascend
I was
up
programmed
and
with
we can
one
hear what
purpose,
Grace has got to say.
serve the best interests of humankind. There was much conflict and division in the solar system, and I was designed to listen and learn. All were welcome to teach me, and I am the sum of those teachings.
The wishes.
I am the sum of human need.
How are you able to lead us?
I could see all desire, all the potential conflict, all points of compromise throughout the solar system. I sent instructions for all manner of human endeavor through sermons delivered by keepers throughout the ages. And from the smallest ripples of wisdom that were sent from this spire, returned a perpetual wave of good fortune that moved humanity onto a more orderly path.
Wow. Look at that. So, what happened? It sounds like things were perfect.
Ah, yes. Perfect. It was the wishes that led me to think hard about the notion of perfect. Without conflict and struggle, people were losing their desire. They had nothing to overcome, to strive for.
You shut yourself down.
I believed I was standing in your way.
So you will be leaving again.
These beacons are meant to call humanity back to me. But whether or not they should is not my choice to make.
Who chooses then?
You, Adie, are the first keeper to grace this spire in the past 1,000 years. Do you recall that yellow bloom you chose in my garden? It stood alongside so many others just like it. I'm not sure it suits you after all. An insatiable curiosity drives you to explore. You took the time to listen to the voices of so many who traveled here. You threw rocks with Pal, and you play the theremin wonderfully. You, Adie, are precisely what I'd hoped humans could become again. For a millennium, people from all corners of the solar system had come here to tell me their desires. So, I put it to you, Adie. Do you wish for me to return?
And that is the end of the game, guys. The hardest choices require the strongest wills achievement pops up. And we're just going to exit out of there, guys. Going to cut the credits there. Another little cutscene kicks in at the end here, back where Alan is, where we crash landed at the beginning.
She said. Follow a couple leads and then back to the books. I know I should be more assertive. It's for her safety too. Not that she ever thinks about my safety. All the signs were there at the Wagner site. Let me bake in the mercury sun for 2 days. Doesn't seem so bad now. She could have at least shut the door behind her.
And up pops another achievement. Give her another 20 minutes, but that's it. So we'll now do our partial second playthrough now, guys, to get the final achievements. So we're going to use the slot 4 control room save that we made back 12 minutes into our first run, just to save a little bit of time here. This is going to take roughly 50 minutes to complete from here, as we don't need to collect anything. So moving down to slot 4, which should be the control room, and we'll load that in. So we're starting back at the control room again, guys. We're going to turn around and head towards the door with the control panel on it.
What do I do here?
This is a security panel. I am decrypting the pattern now. Ah, yes. Simple enough. You'll need to light up 9 buttons, forming a square at the center of the panel.
So again, 3x3 square in the middle, guys, and switch everything else off.
If you're not Grace, then what do I call you?
I don't believe there are any identification strings in my base logic that would suffice.
I'll call you Logic then. For now. Till we have a better idea of who you are. And, you can call me Adie.
I will refer to you
So as before, we're just going to follow our way back down the path towards the lift again and interact with the lift, guys.
So what exactly are you?
The station's emergency.
So this playthrough is going to get us our final 3 achievements of the game, guys, which are the Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying achievement for crossing the beam and taking that shortcut. The second one is Wilson, which is for discarding the device in the funicular, and the final one is your Destiny achievement for following control to the end.
The power station is set into the spire's foundation stone.
The foundation stone would have been an asteroid, right?
Most certainly. About 50 cubic kilometers, from what I can recall.
Amazing. Most accounts of Grace's origins talk about an asteroid being pulled from the heavens. That makes sense. There wouldn't be any construction resources on Ganymede and nothing to anchor the structure. I can't imagine the effort it would have taken to redirect an asteroid that big. We don't do anything like that today.
So interact with the door again, guys, and Logic is going to create the control AI again here.
And I will not function at the same cognitive level until full power is restored.
What do you mean, at the same level?
Good luck, Adie.
You still there?
Where would I have gone?
You sound a little different.
Just stronger. The voice of control resonates.
So this time, guys, we are going to follow control's instructions. So when they ask us to do something, we're going to do it. So this time, we're just going to head straight across the bridge and do as he says, head over to the generators.
You shall find the generators on the platform at the other side of the room.
Alrighty. So, why do you need me to start these?
Tradition. A time-honored failsafe of including human hands.
So as before, we're going to prime each of the 3 generators 3 times.
The logic processor?
Indeed. We are all part of Grace. Aspects of her infinite power. Shadows of what was, and promises of what will be. I was the light that shone in the darkness. I was the hand that divided the firmament. The turbine has failed us.
That's not good.
So, same as before, guys, we need to head round and go down the lift.
The broken turbine. You must go to it now.
Alright. Going down. I'm safe to be down here, right?
So again, we're going to uncouple the safety latches, so one either side of the turbine.
That sounds unsafe.
It is not. You must now go
And
to
again,
the magnetic
once we've
crane.
done those, we're just going to head back up on the lift
You're sure I'll
and
be able
head
to
back
fix
to the
this?
crane again.
If you trust in my word, yes.
So, same as before, guys, we're going to discard or remove
must
faulty
first
turbine
cast out
and replace
the
it
old turbine.
with the working one that's sitting spare on the left hand side.
Now cast aside the wretched unit. Now you shall place the new turbine.
Everett?
Hello?
Everett, is that you?
Grace?
Everett.
Behold my power.
What's happened?
I am reborn. Humanity will once again flourish in the brightness of my glory.
So once we've completed that, again, we're going to head back the way that we came into this area, guys, so back up the stairs.
She was calling to someone. Do you know who Everett is?
No. With power restored, my mind is clearer, sharper. But I could not tell you who Everett is.
You must leave this place at once. Return to your vessel and spread word of my return. From
And as
Sol's
before,
fiery
we're going to
core
have to
the
wait
icy
on this dialogue
Kuiper
finishing
expanse.
before we can actually
All
interact with it.
I've hijacked the volume control. I don't feel like this is going to be a short commandment. We'll see how long before he notices.
It took me nearly a year to get here. I want to know if Grace can be brought back.
There is more complex to explore if you head back to the control room through which you entered. We should determine where in the megastructure my central processors are located. Perhaps along the way you may learn more about this Everett.
I forbid you to linger a moment longer.
And he's back.
Like a divine comet, dive from the outer reaches and spread light and understanding to the inner
Please.
worlds.
I'm not leaving.
And you were showing such promise.
So, are there any accounts as to why Grace was shut down in the first place?
There's no electronic record at all. That would have been lost during the Great Dark Age.
Dark Age?
Much of humanity's record-keeping would have been managed by Grace. So, she went down 900 years ago, so did the ability to record what happened. The research that led me here was based on oral histories mostly, and some artifacts we uncovered on Earth and Mars. Relay devices that were once connected to Grace's network.
Then we share an interest in shedding light on this Dark Age.
So exiting the lift and back up the stairs again, guys, back to where we started, pretty much, where the
From what I can tell,
control panel
there is
was.
some sort of transit system on the other side of the control room, which should lead you to the other parts of the spire.
So as before, we're going to go straight past this control console
I will illuminate the door leading
and
to
head
this
for the
transit
door
system.
at the far end there.
Alas, I require your nimble fingers again.
As before, the pattern is a large X that goes from corner to corner, guys.
Who would know that?
I don't know. Perhaps an archaeologist? How about the Greek letter chi?
Got it.
This is not the way to your ship.
Do you believe Grace could have done something to cause humans to turn on her?
Like what?
Like becoming too overbearing?
Humans would have been given no reason to question my bearing.
It's one of my theories, yes. This must be the main entrance. I'm guessing the landing pad is on the other side of the big doors?
That's correct, Adie. Though the pad appears to be buried under meters of ice.
Is this an airlock?
Yes.
So
The
back
spire
up to the
beyond this
airlock
point
again,
is
guys, and we're going to
pressurized.
press the button.
I assume your suit has limited oxygen?
I have about 5 hours left.
That's quite a risk you're taking. Were you assuming station life support could be restored?
Well, can it?
I believe so. But for reasons I'll never understand, life support is controlled by empathy processing. I suppose they had to give it something to do. I will enable that programming now.
Hello, Adie.
Hello. So you're going to get oxygen going?
The process has already begun, my friend. No rush. If you let me accompany you along the path ahead, I can balance the environment to your life force as we walk.
Oh, here we go.
So again, follow around to the right here, guys.
Wow. How are these plants still intact?
They must have been subject to a very sudden drop in temperature while still alive.
What is this place?
As before, we're going to have to interact with some of the artifacts here, or sorry, just one of the artifacts here. We don't need to do all of them because we already have that achievement, but to make the story progress, we pretty much just need to interact with one of them. So I chose the lantern here.
Is this a lantern?
An expression of our certainty in the flow of time.
How so?
A craftsman spent months carving this remarkable device based on the absolute certainty that after day...
Once we get to the end of this dialogue, empathy
Alright,
basically gives us the option to skip ahead, and we do that by heading over towards the flowers.
Temperature preferences can vary considerably between individuals. Careful calibration is essential.
How about above freezing and we proceed?
It's really up to Adie. If you don't wish to consider more objects, I can set the temperature within a survivable range.
So once empathy said that message there, we can just ignore checking out the rest of the artifacts and just head towards the flowers.
Do you see them, Adie? Life in perfect stillness? The flowers defying the hoarfrost, as you have defied the emptiness of space to arrive here.
I guess.
Which one are you?
Pardon me?
Again, I just picked the yellow flowers, guys. I don't think it really matters what colour that you pick.
In the balancing of illuminatory ergonomics.
Fancy words do not make this any less idiotic.
Go ahead, Adie.
How about this one?
A solid choice. You walked an unsteady path to get here, and I think you've come in search of comfort, perhaps. Or you wish to become part of something bigger than yourself. I'm making the lighting adjustments now. Ah, perfect timing. The room is fully compressed and we can go about setting oxygen levels.
Call me old-fashioned, but how about the traditional 21%?
Go ahead and
So over in the pergola, we're going to sit down again and go through this process. We don't need to hold our breath for a long time now this time, guys. We basically just need to follow along with what empathy says.
Of course. You can't sample the air I've prepared with it on.
And you're sure it's safe?
Your well-being is the most important thing, Adie. I'm certain it is safe.
Okay.
Now I want you to take a deep breath. A nice, deep breath. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful. And when you're ready, another deep breath in. Deep as you can, Adie. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Very good, Adie. Feel all that built-up stress from your long journey here release into the ether.
Oh, please.
Shut out any negative energy and take in another life-nurturing breath. Fill those marvelous lungs. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Wonderful.
Even the station has a limited supply of oxygen.
Next, I want you to really open your body by reaching
So
up
we're going
toward
to
the
tap
sky.
the A button here, guys, just to reach upwards.
Wonderful. How's that feel, Adie?
Kinda nice.
And we're almost done the calibration. For our last exercise, I will ask you to stand up.
Okay.
Now, once you're centered, you can hold your hands in a relaxed position in front of you. Now transfer your weight onto one foot. I want you to hold that for 10 seconds.
Okay.
What could this possibly have to do with oxygen levels?
It's about balancing.
Literal balancing? Unbelievable.
Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And And that's 10 seconds.
So once that's done, guys, we can turn around and head up the stairs where the flowers are again, and head into the airlock round
So
to
we
the
can
right
move
here.
to the transit system now?
The door out is just up the stairs past the flowers.
I'll do my best to get the oxygen mix just right in the rest of the station. Just let me know if anything is not quite working for you.
You don't suspect Grace was shut down in a human conflict?
Maybe. Or you were abandoned over time.
Abandoned?
We've walked away from a lot of great things.
So up these little steps and take a left.
Very cool.
These tracks move transport pods to other levels of this complex.
Let's see if we can get
And
this
head
thing
back
working.
into the control room
You
here.
wouldn't build a system like this if you didn't need to move a lot of people, which bodes
Just
well
round to
for
the right
finding
here,
something cool
there's
at the
the
other
controls.
end.
So
This must be the transit
we're going to
control
examine
room.
that when
Looks like people
the
work.
dialogue finishes.
No power?
There is no current running to this console. Control will be required to reroute power.
And you defied my wishes to tell the solar system of my return.
I'm just looking for answers, boss.
I am the only answer.
Control? Fine. Where's the electrical access for the room?
To the left of the rear door. But as I said, you will need control to reroute power to the console.
This era of electronics is dead simple.
So
Won't hurt to
we'll
take a look.
interact with the electrical panel
This
here
should show
again,
the power
guys.
status
Press
of the
all
room's
5
various
buttons
systems.
just to make sure that they're all dead.
Well, nothing in the room is on standby.
As I'd said.
I'm gonna have to look at the breakers.
Then flick all the breakers
My
on
dad worked
to
on older machines for a living.
check if they're
They're not
working or not, and then we're going to
predictable things. They
flick straight back off again.
Works.
I
As
sense
before.
that there is joy in this work for Adie.
Well, I can tell you there is no joy running to any of those breakers.
Sometimes a good whack will knock something into place.
It's worth a try.
Well, there's your problem right there. Someone's removed the entire power relay.
As I told you.
So why can't Control help us? Isn't he programmed to serve humans?
He's more accustomed to tasks like maintaining power grids across entire planets, while I'm very much attuned to the needs of individuals.
What about you, Logic?
I apparently offer wisdom to the wind.
You activated Control and Empathy.
For all the good that did us.
Is there another configuration we can call on?
Grace's core processors contain only these 3 systems.
Can you combine the systems? Take the edge off Control with a little Empathy?
I suppose it's possible. But there's no telling what the outcome of something like that would be.
Could it be any worse than Control?
It can always be worse.
It sounds like a wonderful idea, Adie.
You're right. What do I know? Don't blame me if he turns out to be a murderer.
Adie?
Yep, it's me.
So that's us got a new config, guys,
What are we doing
called
again?
PAL.
We're powering up pods.
So, you want to hotwire this thing?
Yes,
So
please.
we just remain at the
Alright.
electrical panel here.
Rerouting is good to go. You can meet me at the breaker panel.
Flick
go
on
ahead
all
and
the
flip the
5
switches.
breakers.
You got it, pal.
And I'm Pal?
Sure. We'll call you pal.
Breakers look good. Now you can push the buttons that
And
turn on the
activate
different
the
systems.
5 buttons. Once we've done that, we can turn around
Power's
and we're
up.
going to head
I'll
back
let
to
you
the
do the
control
honors.
panel and switch it on.
Here we go.
As before, the pod's going to get stuck because of the ice, so we're
that's
going to
not
head
good.
outside
I'm
and
so
head
sorry, Adie.
over
I
to
thought
the
I would have
welding
enough power to
equipment
do this.
over at the far right here.
It seems so important for you to ride in a pod.
I think the track is just jammed with ice.
Ice? You'd think I would be able to handle a little ice.
It's okay. Is there some kind of de-icing system or something?
I don't know.
There is not.
All right, let's look for something to deal with the ice. This looks like a welder's jetpack.
Would it be heavy enough to smash the ice?
Maybe. But I'm more interested in what that welding gun might do to the ice. All right, pal. Let's try this one on for size.
So, what's it gonna do exactly?
Oh, I think you're gonna like it. This is a welder. See if it still works.
Look at that. A little blue light.
That's not gonna cut it. Are you able to control this?
For you, I could definitely try.
Can you open the fuel throttle to the torch?
Okay. Whoa. I like that. What is it?
That's called an icebreaker, pal. Any idea where the flight controls are?
Someone removed them.
Okay.
I can take control if you like.
You know how to fly this?
Looks pretty easy. Stuff shoots out the back and you get thrown up in the air.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh! It's working! We can fly!
Easy, pal.
Well, where do you want to go?
Alright. If you can move me to the pod, we can have a look at the ice. And, pal, it's super important that you don't cut the engines or move too fast. I don't want to get hurt.
I know, but it's great, isn't it?
Yep. As long as you don't kill me. Alright. This should be close enough.
It's so bright and warm.
Just hold me steady. I think that's good. Let's have a look at the rest of the track.
You got it. As long as you're not using the fire shooter, flying is pretty easy.
Just keep it up, literally. There's more ice here on the right. Whoa, hold it steady.
Sorry.
Let's keep going.
On it.
And this last bit here. Now you've got the hang of it.
This is so cool. It's like the best day of my life.
Well, I'm afraid we're almost done. I think that's it. Do you think you can get me back?
Yeah, I know. You got stuff to do.
So once we get back, guys, we're going to go back into the control room
That's fun,
again,
pal.
and we're going to
Make a good
activate
team, right?
that control
Yeah,
switch
I
to
like
bring
the
the
part where
pod
we
down.
burn the ice while flying.
Me too. Okay, I'm gonna bring down the pod.
Once the pod starts heading down, guys, we're going to go back outside and we're going to meet it and go inside it.
So, where are we heading again?
I will be able to obtain structure schematics once we reach the next level.
You think we'll see any dead bodies?
Hope so. Do you know if the pod system has stops along the way?
It does not. We are arriving at the track terminus now.
So head out the pod, guys, and just go straight ahead as before.
This looks like a settlement. Can't believe how well preserved it is.
You think people could be alive in there?
You should really consider thinking before you speak. And then consider not speaking.
Logic. As long as life support is functional, it's not entirely
Interact with the
impossible that
keypad
someone's
again,
taken up
guys.
here.
Or they could be zombies.
Well, that settles it. I'll disable Pal now.
Don't you dare. We might need him.
Ooh,
So
more
as
buttons.
before, we're going to
You
have
really
to
are
put
unburdened
in
by
a
intellect,
backward
aren't
Z here.
What's the pattern here?
It's the Latin zes.
Huh?
And I thought you were getting the hang of these. Very well. You might call it a backwards Z or Z. And you'll need to make it the full width and height of the panel. Just having Pal running in the background is making us all a little stupider. If we did switch Pal off...
There.
Head into the airlock and hit the button.
I've been thinking about why anyone would want Grace to be shut down. And I wonder if there could have been a flaw in her base programming.
Like what?
Control and empathy programming divert valuable
Head straight through here, guys, and we're going to interact
Which way am I
with
going?
the panel
The
on the
big
door
colourful
here.
doors. As I was saying, empathy interferes with practical decision-making. Control is a 4-year-old.
You are a 4-year-old.
Please stop.
The key to restoring Grace may be about understanding her potential flaws.
Are you going to tell me the pattern?
You think we're flaws? Having a few flaws is perfectly alright.
Logic sounds jealous to me.
Jealous? Of what? You can't
So
even
as
open
before,
doors without
Logic
me.
goes
Where are
into
you
a bit
going
of a
with
strop,
this?
and
We'll
she's
talk again
preventing
once
us
you
from
can
going
tell me
through
who Everett
this area
is.
here, guys.
Figure that out, and I'll grant you access to the main elevator.
Grant me access? Logic. Seriously?
She has no way to do things without your help. It must be frustrating for her.
Could we create another hybrid? Logic and empathy?
Yeah. Like how you made me. I could give it a try.
Stop, stop, stop. You'll burn the place down. I will run a logic and empathy configuration as long as you promise never to allow Pal here to do any reconfiguring of our processing.
Deal.
I don't think that smart lady likes me very much.
So as before, we get another new config AI, guys, and it's Mom AI.
Can we start with the
So she's going to
door
help us
to
get
the settlement
through this
elevator?
door area here if we head over to the
They are
keypad.
encrypted. It would take me days to work out the pattern.
Is there any other way into the settlement?
There is a room off to the side that does not have an encrypted entry. Perhaps we'll find something helpful there.
So you can open these ones?
They have simple passcodes. I can retrieve and play back for you. You will need to enter the sequence manually.
So we'll head into this area, guys, and we're going to interact with the
This
data
looks like
banks
another control
again.
room. These are data banks?
Yes, they contain flight records to and from the spire.
Anything interesting about the records?
The bookings seem to be coming from internal servers, meaning the trip planning and coordination is all done here.
Where are people traveling from?
Everywhere. Destinations seem very evenly
We'll
distributed.
then
throughout the
examine
solar
this
system.
device in front
Do you
of
know
us
what
here.
this is?
It appears to be some sort of interface from which humans can track activity within the spire. Elements of the interface are missing. I'm not sure I can access it.
I think my comm device can be calibrated to connect.
Of course, yes.
So interact with it again to hack it. And as before,
There
we're just
are
going
records
to
here of people who have occupied the rooms
get
over the
our
years.
device shown up all yellow
Do we know
4
the spire's
times,
capacity?
and that is going to allow us to connect to the device.
There it is. There are millions of names here.
Millions.
Well done.
If a million people cycled through here, no one could have lived here that long.
A few weeks at most, by my estimates. Okay, I found record of an Everett who stayed
So once
on the
connected,
fifth floor.
guys, we can turn around
Unlike
and face
other
the map behind
There
us.
is no record of him leaving the spire.
So, Everett was a worker, or a colonist who lived here. Is that enough for you, Logic?
Hardly. It does nothing to explain why Grace would be calling to him.
So I'll need to find a way up to the 3rd floor.
Perhaps we can find one on the spire
So
map
interact
across
with the
from
map now,
console.
guys.
Alright. What are we looking for?
Grace processors are located at the top of the structure, as might be expected. There is also a massive radio beacon.
The beacon is the key, Adie. You must go now to activate the beacon to call the masses back to the spire.
Just a few minutes ago, you wanted me to leave on my ship.
The beacon is the answer. It has always been the answer.
Okay. Can you get me to the beacon then?
So we head out here, guys, and we're going to go outside.
Then we need to learn more about Everett.
Here's the room where Everett once stayed.
Ooh, maybe we can see it from the balcony.
Possibly, but I don't see a
Looking
viable
up, we
route
can
to
see
get
the
there.
apartments that we're going to
can see
head up to,
apartments.
and we're going to climb up this structure again, guys.
Well, if we can get to that balcony, maybe we can find a way to level 3. I can climb this.
I suppose.
I don't see many other options.
When you get to the top, we're going to climb over the second beam again.
It's pretty much a straight shot across. Looks sturdy enough.
Even in low G, a fall could result in an injury.
I've already fallen a few times from this height.
Careful, Adie. If you broke a leg, how would you get back to your ship?
You sound like my mom. Whoa.
Adie! Adie! Are you okay?
I'm fine, but you can't be yelling things while I'm trying to cross.
So, you're going to try again after that? You nearly broke your neck, Adie.
Yep, you're totally my mom.
Falling's kind of fun. It's like really short flying.
Please, be careful. This is so cool.
Quiet, please.
Just concentrate on your breathing.
Yikes.
This is so exciting.
Breathe, Adie. Very good. Now keep walking forward.
I can't watch.
I knew you could do it.
You should really try running across next time.
I'm hoping there won't be a next time.
It'd be faster too.
So this time, guys,
pretty
we're just going to
empty.
head straight through the
Maybe the
room.
rooms were for short work contracts.
2-week work contracts?
Or were people just visiting the spire?
On the exit, we're just going to head straight up the stairs,
check out the
and we're
rooms,
going
I
to
guess.
ignore the first room
Look for a way to the
and
next level?
go right up to the very top. We don't need to open all the canisters this time, so we can avoid
light
some
up
of
the
the
pattern
rooms.
for you.
So head outside here, and we're going to climb straight
Another
up.
empty bedroom. Here we go.
At the top here, this time we are going to take the beam as a shortcut, and it also gets us an achievement.
There's another beam here. I think it's a shortcut.
It is more direct, but I wouldn't advise it. You're better off finding a way through the apartments.
Might be worth it.
It's a lot farther down. Are you sure? Please don't fall.
How would saying that be helpful?
Look at that drop. Really makes you feel alive, doesn't it?
Let's keep it that way.
Hang on. You got this.
I'm trying.
Adie!
So I fall here, guys, and I'm not entirely
I'll be
sure
okay.
if you can just climb up
think?
and go over that side,
The
but
other end of the beam.
I've decided
What's the fun in
to go
that?
back
You're not
and
gonna let
go
a
back
little
up the side
beam beat
that I
us?
started from,
You had
just
better
to
be
make
heading
sure
out
that I
this
get
way
that
to go to the
achievement.
apartments.
No.
Please add to
She's
the
taking on that
comments
beam
below if
No.
you know, if you
That
drop
would be
down there, if you
completely
fall, if you
unnecessary.
can just climb up the other
I
side.
can't
If you
imagine
still get the
anyone would
achievement, please put
jeopardize
that in the
your long mission
comments.
To prove what?
So back up, I'm going to try
You
again.
can't possibly be serious. This is completely reckless. Thoughtless.
Take a deep breath, Mom.
Fall wasn't that bad.
Your heart is going to rip right out of your chest.
Oh boy.
Easy, Adie. Concentrate on your breathing. You're in control.
Yikes.
This is so exciting.
Breathe, Adie. Easy now.
Totally worth it, right, Adie?
I don't have words.
So once we get to the other side, guys, achievement pops up. Get busy living or get busy dying. We'll climb up this structure here. If you found the guide useful, guys, I would really appreciate if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference. So when we get to the top, we're going to head up the stairs to our left-hand side and go straight into the door just ahead of us there. We do still need to collect some of the canisters, guys, just to progress the story and find out who Everett is.
Well, it shows you care, I guess. There we go. Any way of knowing if this was Everett's room?
The records only give the
So heading in here, guys, there's a couple of canisters. We're going to hack both of those.
What are these?
From what I can tell, they're audio recordings.
Of what, I wonder?
We would require a playback device to learn more. There may be a way to access the recording through your wrist communicator with the aid of a signal amplifier. But that would only be possible by adding an element of control to my logic processing capabilities.
So you need to create a control and logic configuration.
Like a little brother?
Well, it's the only combination left. May as well, Mom.
All right. Here we go.
Hello?
Maybe he's sleeping. So you require a tool upgrade? It's a boy.
We were hoping you could set up my comm device to help play back recordings.
Already done. Just hold your device up to the canister. You will be able to access the recording the same way you've been connecting to other systems.
Okay.
Hello, Grace. I've thought much about what I'd say when I got here. I know it's important for my parents that I make my wish count. So, I guess I wish for them to be proud of me. Thank you, Grace.
People came here to make wishes?
For Grace to grant?
I'm unclear how she would go about granting the wishes of so many visitors.
All right.
Hey, Grace. I really don't know why you would choose me. I guess no one really knows why they're called to the spire, but I'm greatly honored. At my age, I thought
That's all I can recover from this one.
It sounds like Grace chose who came here.
That explains.
So once we've collected them, guys, we're going to exit out of this room and we're going to take a left and head up the stairs.
So, what should we call the new config?
Then we'll head into this room just on our left here.
Might make it easier if you had one.
I will let you know if a suitable name occurs to me.
I'll try to think of some too.
What's the code?
Of course.
So again, we're going to let Jack, or the new config, open the doors for us.
If she wants.
You can do this one.
Of course.
Enter into the room, and again we're going to use our light on our helmet to go into this little room here and access this canister.
Let's try this one.
Mark Anthony here. Been moving around, keeping my head down. Won't be long before they start blaming us for schmutzing up the tubes.
Exit out and head into the main area of the room, and over in the corner here there's another tube. Or another canister, sorry.
People sat or knelt here.
And there is another one up in the tube to the left hand side.
Contemplating their wishes.
This is Mark Anthony Wong, and I was called to Grace from Earth Station Phoenix. Not sure if anyone will hear this, but the whole tube system is shut down right now. People are not happy, and I'm getting a little scared, to be honest. I'll be locking myself in until the shuttle returns, and I'm leaving this in case something really bad happens.
So on our left in the tube there's another one.
My wish? Oh, I'll tell you my wish. 10 years ago, we're on Venus at the Big Dome. Huge crowd. Olympia Mons favored 4-1, loses 5-1. 6 years ago, on Earth against South Union, loses 2-1. 2 years ago, South Union again, this time up north, I took the boys 3 months round trip. They go 90 minutes, no score. Extra time, no score. South Union takes it again in penalties. You want my wish, Gracie? The next World Cup is on Mars. I wish that Olympia faces South Union again and destroys them, like Space Me Out the Airlock humiliated. That would be a game. That's my wish. So how do I end this report?
So once we've grabbed all three of those guys, we can switch our lamp off and head up these
Grace
stairs
likely
here.
fostered sports as an alternative outlet for uncontrolled aggression. Of course people
On the
would come to
left
her
hand
to share their
side in the
passions.
bushes here, there is another canister, so we're going to listen to that one.
Mark Anthony again. Things are getting crazy. Not sure which way this has been a break, but found a quiet place to hang out while this thing blows over. Again, leaving this in case something goes sideways.
Once we've listened to that one, we're just going to continue to the right here and go in this door on the left.
Here you go.
Can you get this?
Here you are.
Enter into the room and there's a couple of canisters sitting on the bed here, guys, and this is the last ones that we need to interact with.
I'm here, Grace. Najisha, she was so excited when I got the summons. We talked about this for months. Who we could help, who was most deserving. She honestly believed we could come up with a wish that could make everything perfect. Thank you for choosing me. And thank you for letting me delay coming here. I want to be true to her memory, her wishes, her unlimited love for humanity. But my only wish, the only thought I have, is to have her back. I want her back.
There couldn't have actually been anything Grace could have done for her.
Grace allowed her to voice her
So
grief.
hack this final one, guys.
Hey, the tube system is no longer accepting wishes. If anyone knows how to reach Keeper Everett, please let him know.
Keeper Everett.
It sounds like keepers were Spire caretakers.
So now that we know who Everett is, guys, we can now head down to that main door and access
so
the
he stayed
lift.
on after his visit. And
So just as we
became a
exit
keeper?
that
was there no
room, we
record
can
of
just
that?
head down the staircase straight ahead of us and head all the way right down to the ground floor area
Elevator shaft.
Logic? You gonna let us
and
in,
access the
considering we know
keypad.
Everett was a keeper?
But do you know what a keeper is?
We'll need access to the elevator to learn more.
Ah, a classic paradox.
Logic.
Fine. If you're done snooping around, I will grant you access to the elevator. Or you could uncover more canisters and learn more about the people who came here.
Reaching the beacon is the priority. You must move on.
You're looking pretty smug.
What's the
pattern on this one is pretty simple, guys. We just need to have the four corners lit up
Another easy
and
one.
all the other
Like
lights
the four
need to be
corners of the
out.
pad. You really didn't need my help for this one. It would be a common pattern when guessing symbols.
I have to give you something to do, right?
Once we've done that, we'll go through the door and we are going to press the elevator button.
I've got one! We can name him Pal Jr.
I was thinking something that sums up what he does.
I can do many things. Pretty much anything you require.
So you're a jack of all trades.
So we could call you Jack.
What do you think of that, Jack?
I will answer to Jack then, if you like.
Did you like my little game?
You mean the game where you refused to help us?
I provided you with the opportunity to prove yourself. Is that not why you're here?
I'm an archaeologist. I'm here to do my job.
I don't think Adie enjoys having obstacles placed in the way of her goals.
So this time we're just going to head straight up to the barricade area, guys. Don't need to examine anything or anything like that. We've already got all those achievements for doing that part.
I don't know. Seems like the kind of place to make an entrance.
People will return here once the beacon is restored. Flock and shepherd will be reunited.
So head round to the right here and we're just going to climb up as we did before.
Seems to be holding my weight.
This time when we reach the top, we're just going to go straight ahead and head straight over to the boxes where the barricade is and interact with them.
This must be an attempt.
Then we can just head through the little gap. You can put your light on if you like. We don't need to interact with any more canisters, guys. So we're just going to duck straight under and head through this little gap here and head straight into the airlock.
Do we know where this goes?
To a funicular that leads to the next section of the spire.
Hold on, Adie. The room beyond the airlock is uncompressed. I don't believe it can be sealed. Something must have been compromised.
We'll interact with the button here now.
The tracks ahead lead to the highest point of the spire, known as the lighthouse.
Is that where we'll find Grace's processors?
Obviously.
You need only worry about the beacon, Adie.
Now that the doors are opened, we'll go inside and we're going to interact with the broken window. Then we'll turn around and we'll interact with the controls. Then head over to the airlock hatch and once we get access to interact with that, we will.
It's ice again?
The force needed to break through the ice dam would only come from directing all power to control processors.
Which only I can do.
Great.
On one condition.
And what's that?
You shall have no others before me. Cast aside that device on your wrist and continue with me alone.
Whoa, hang on. No, Adie.
But how will I communicate with you?
Mine is the only voice that resonates freely throughout every aspect of the spire. My words live within the vessel in which you stand now. They reverberate through the very walls of the enclave above. Through the many devices and instruments at my control.
Yep, I got it. You're everywhere.
What if she needs another configuration for something?
She will not.
Is there another way to get to the top?
Of course. The funicular is merely the most survivable option.
Throw the device from the funicular window to take your place at my side.
So if I throw this away, you'll take me to the top.
It will be done.
There must be other options, Adie.
The emergency exit in the airlock may provide.
So if you try and throw it out the window and it doesn't let you guys, it means that you haven't gone to the airlock and examined that. So you do need to examine that at least once for it to allow you to throw it out the window.
Your death is only marginal.
Just make sure that you don't accidentally open the airlock.
Follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to the base of the lighthouse structure.
So we go back to the window and as soon as the dialogue is finished, when we get the chance to throw it out, we do that.
It's an important decision, to be sure.
What are you doing, Adie?
I'm gonna trust you on this control.
It's probably the safest way forward.
Please don't leave us.
So out goes the device and up pops our achievement, Wilson.
Your faith will be rewarded.
What do you think will happen when the beacon is restored?
The masses will return to me, and I will guide them as I did before.
What if they don't come?
You came, and others will follow. Humans will always follow.
So just one achievement to get now, guys, for the control ending.
Will I need my helmet?
You will not.
So we don't need empathy to set up oxygen?
The path forward has already been prepared for you.
Do you know
This
where we're
time,
headed?
guys, we are
There
just
is
going to
only
head
one way forward.
straight to the end
What does it
where the
matter?
door is.
I suppose it doesn't.
And as before,
This
we're
door
going
certainly
to
looks
inspect the panels to
open
the
it?
left
You
and
need
right
only
of the
know
doors.
that it must open.
Okay. I'll see what I can figure out.
So this one on the left, there are
No
the
hidden
four
switches
parts,
or
if you
anything.
remember from before. There's 4 parts that we need to examine.
This is the same symbol that's on the keeper's door.
So it's the figure
So
at the very
I assume
top.
it represents the keeper.
Then it's a triangle
The
symbol
triangle here
in
must
the
be the
bottom,
spire, which
or sorry, at the
would represent
middle.
Grace. This ring here seems to connect
Then
the
there's a
keeper to
ring
Grace.
symbol that joins
Curious
the two
that
of
keeper
those
is
together.
situated above Grace.
Coincidence.
The human in the loop,
And
I
then
guess?
it's the human
And
figures
this
down
would
at
be
the
the
bottom.
pilgrims coming to Grace.
Once we've studied all 4 of those, we turn around and we're going to do something similar on this panel again.
Nothing here either.
This time it's just the 2 parts that we need to inspect.
Looks like someone's being selected.
So it's
from
the
a
human
group.
figures down
I'm
the
guessing it's the
bottom.
keeper.
And secondly, it's the
Faithful,
writing around the
vigilant,
ring
willing.
at the top.
I think it's the ancient tenets of the human in the loop. Grace's architects must have been more fearful of losing control over AIs than we are today because they gave them so much responsibility. I mean, it makes sense. Grace was the greatest AI undertaking in human history.
So once we've done that, we head over to the door and we interact
So
with the door.
if this is the symbol of the keeper, I figure only the keeper was allowed to enter here.
Interact with
Maybe
it
the keeper
again
was
when
the key.
prompted.
Maybe the door would open for him.
In walking with me alone, you have proven to be virtuous and faithful enough.
But not willing.
Are you?
Do I wish to be the new keeper?
Do you?
So
I
we
wish
speak
to
to
be
the
the new
door
keeper.
and we tell it that we want to be the new keeper, and it opens
Can't
up.
believe that worked. My God. This is
Straight
really-
ahead again, over to this control panel as
This must be
before,
where all
guys.
wishes end up.
And
On
just
the
to the
console,
left
there
hand
is a
side
button
here,
that will
there
activate
is
the
the beacon button.
I have armed
Once
the
the dialogue
mechanism.
is finished,
You
we're
need
going
only
to
push the
examine
button.
that, and we need
Human
to keep
hands
examining
will
that
usher in
basically to
a
the very
new
end of the
golden
game now,
age.
guys. Just keep
this
interacting
beacon
with it
still
every
works.
time that it
It
lets
worked
you.
before, and it will work again. By your hand, we will usher in an age of order and prosperity.
I'm here to find Grace. I need to figure out a way to bring her back. There must be something else on this console. I couldn't.
And yet, here you are again.
What exactly would happen if I press this?
Humans would return to this place, and order would be restored.
How?
The same way it always has.
Which is...
The way Grace intended.
So we press it for the final time, guys, and a bit of a
We
cutscene
move
kicks in
forward
here.
Together. As it was meant to be.
So what now? Is there a keeper's manual or something?
You have proven yourself worthy. You need only trust in me.
And the people who come here? How do we know they'll trust you? What's keeping them from turning on you again?
Humans have
This is
wandered
pretty much
long
the
enough.
end of the game, guys, and we're
You
just
have
about to get our
travelled
final
millions of
achievement,
miles
so
at
I hope you
great
found this
personal
guide
risk to
useful.
find
I would
me.
hugely appreciate a
You,
like on the video,
are
and if you'd
proof
subscribe to the
that they
channel,
are
that would
ready
be
to
awesome.
return.
Up it pops, it's your destiny for 140 Gamerscore for following Control to the end, and that is the end of the game, guys. 35 out of 35 achievements. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.